Yes, family. It's the legendary. It's the blood clot times. It's the vibes, yes, family. It's your host, Selah Shalom, Selector Selah Shalom on You know how we do. It's the vibes. I see the fan chiming in. Yes, family. Boy, Selah Shalom, another place, you know. Hey, boy, Selah Shalom, another place, you know. Shout out to the Critter Gang. Let me see how chime in. Let me see who chime in. Kizzy Messiah, True Beauty Messiah, Nazarene Messiah, Elijah Messiah, Roselle Messiah. Where's the big man? Joshua, where's that? All one family. Honor and humility. Shout out to the righteous God. Where's that dreadful Cosman? My kids, Prince. Man, we see the family at chime in still, yeah? See the family I chime in, yeah? In my spragger voice, yeah? I just decided to get online full hot, you know what I mean? Long day, I ain't even had no sleep. I've been up 24 hours on my godly time. I mean, the sun don't shine. The sun don't rest, I mean. So I'm like the sun right now. I'm up 24-hour, pulled the all-nighter. Still here. What's good, fam? I see, you know, it's interesting that as much as we break down the God concept, the Lord God concept, the creator concept, it's like some niggas still ain't really picking up. When I be on Sonetta and I be seeing how they be debating the gods, I'm like, yo, ain't nobody distinguished the creator yet from these Elohims. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get technical, the Bible don't even express a creator. It only expresses the deities. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, the more and more I acknowledge Owaspi, the more and more I realize, like, damn, yo, really ain't no book that ever spoke about a creator like that. You know what I mean? What are you talking about, family? Have the God our kings. Yeah, man. Where say big man? Spraga, yes. You know, Spraga voice, I don't know. Where say Kazman Kial? Where say big man? My Rasta bedroom them. Kazman Kala Rasta. Dreadful Kazman, a real Rasta that, a orthodox Rasta man have dreadful in them beard, you know. Create a gang, boy. We some face to look upon niggas, man. What the scripture say about Abraham? His skin was copper, red like new copper, with a long, lofty beard, coarse hair, fierce to look upon. The only niggas that I know that's fierce to look upon is the Rastaman. Muslims, when you see a Muslim with the full beard, that's cool, but you don't feel no certain way. But when you see the full beard with that Rasta and Nati come out, let them know that him dress them as garments. You know, like how them Naya Biggie and them do, the Bobo Shanti and them boys are dressed up. Looking like real prince, real kings and queens, royalty. The princely order, the priestly order, the Rastaman control that. Yeah, man, they run that. You dig? Let me drop this thing. We just bobbing today, family. No particular topic. Any questions, you can throw them in the chat. You know what I mean? We just freestyling for now. Yeah, yo. It's crazy because that nigga Judah Nazareth was talking crazy, and I ain't heard nothing from these niggas. I'm gonna chop all these niggas to death. I don't give a damn who it is, yo. When we get chapter and verse, I'm gonna chop these niggas to death, yo. Ain't none of them niggas showed and proved yet that, you know, like when we said that the God of the Bible is an angel, ain't nobody disproved that yet. And see, that's what we gonna keep these niggas. Niggas wanna play the wiggle room game. We're not giving niggas no wiggle room. I'm standing on the next. Tazariak still gotta explain God being an angel. Pastor Ben, all them niggas ran. When we had that first discussion, niggas ran. Even till now, when I get back on there and I talk and bring that up, niggas ain't got nothing for it. Because if you got to be real with yourself. If your God is a man, an angel, how can you classify that as the creator? And if you believe that this angel or this man is the creator, how can you live with that? How can you live with the fact that it's a man walking around with hands and feet like you? Can you imagine looking a nigga in the face to face, saying, and he telling you he created the heavens and the earth, the sun, moon, and stars, vortices and galaxies? You know what I mean? If a God came to you in a spacecraft out from outer space, from across the galaxy, and stood on the earth and looked you in your face and said, I created the heavens and the earth, a lot of you niggas gonna fall for it. Because the gods know that humans ain't smart enough to distinguish these things. There is no God in the Bible that's the Bible does not express the creator at all. It may express some of the commandments that's coming from the creator, but the false gods took the same commandments of the creator and perverted them, modified them, changed them to fit their scheme of things. So if the creator say, thou shalt not murder and kill, the false god would say, thus saith the Lord, thou shalt not murder and kill. So now, although it's the law of the creator, the deity has superseded the creator and stood in position of the creator, telling you, thou shalt not kill, thus saith the Lord God, as if the Lord God is the originator and creator of that commandment. So now you're not murdering and killing because of the fear of this deity. Who told you that? My nigga. If you break my commandments, my nigga, I'm going to cast your ass in pine oil heaven. See, pine oil heaven got these niggas afraid. I mean, real afraid. Because the only way the biblical God got strength is through fear tactics. The fear that you're going to be cast into a lake of fire. The fear that your nuts is going to be roasting. Vaginas is going to be roasting in hell. Judah has a drunk. Yeah, I ain't even bringing up that part, cuz, man. Yeah. I ain't even gonna drift on to that part. You know what I mean? That nigga said that shit out of his own goddamn mouth. That's on him. He got to explain that one. And see, that's the sad thing. That's why it's like, come on, man. We supposed to be battling the information. How do we get from battling information to talking about niggas' personal lives? Sonetta got to go and defend about some chick he messed with X amount of years ago. I'm like, my nigga, y'all niggas is way off topic. This shit is not even consciousness no more. This shit is politics. It's more like the house of politics, because even Devon Prospect said it. Ali said it. Ali Muhammad, the Aboriginal. He said, yo, son, get back to the information. Yeah, get back to the information, because the sidetrackingness has took over the consciousness. So now you talking about another motherfucker has become the information. Fuck you has become the PowerPoint. You see what I'm saying? You a bitch ass nigga has become the presentation in the slide now. That's the information in the house of consciousness. It's to the point now when you do speak consciousness, it's like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the bullshit now. Because you allowed the bullshit to run for so long. It's like, get back to what made the platform, the information. That's what made motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's what, you know what I mean? That's what drew niggas' attention. When I get on there and start seeing the bickering and the back and forth and the nigga this and the nigga that, it's like the niggas was hot, like when I first came on the internet and seen the God, you know what I mean? Niggas was vibrating at a high frequency, meaning as far as the information, nothing personal, as far as the information. The downfall of that shit was the debate that they had, I think it was deciphering the hieroglyphs. That was the pitfall right there. That was the pitfall. If that event would have been successful, them niggas would have went over the roof. But that shit, them niggas fell out, and the god Sa fell off. He ain't fall off. The people surrounding the politics stopped fucking with it, and the views dropped. You know what I mean, and all that shit. The views started to kick back up like how they used to be when Sa dropped videos and all that shit. But niggas got to get back to the information, man. You know what I mean? Can't be getting all personal with niggas, man. Let me beat up your fucking God. That's what we hear about. Ain't nobody answer to the God. Ain't nobody answer to me yet, nigga. I'm waiting. Where the fuck y'all at? I caught y'all out. I came on Sunday and caught niggas out, but I'm not gonna run over there every time you go live to just talk shit. No, I'm a tactical nigga. Bitch, meet me in the ring. Let's get it popping. That's why I haven't been on South for. Now, South cool, though. You know what I mean? It's like I fuck with Sa. I ain't gonna lie. You know, a lot of people talk shit about it, but I fuck with the nigga. I really do. Like, I really appreciate what he's bringing to the platform, the good, the bad, the ugly. I appreciate all that shit. But what I appreciate most is the information. To me, I love the side debates. Love that shit. But the debates to me was tighter back. Well, you know what? I can't even say that because back in the day, you know, you had it where motherfuckers was coming face to face in the building to see the debate. So that's what made the shit more lively. Because I remember that time when I think it was one of them debates, the Comedic War Conference, one of them. But the fucking line was around the corner. I couldn't believe that shit. I'm like, yo, this nigga Sa got a following like this in New York where the line is wrapping around the corner. I'm like, yo, that nigga Sa supposed to be the fucking, not saying he ain't the man, but like, for the level of following he got, especially in New York City, niggas came out like that in numbers in New York City in one state. Niggas need to get back to the motherfucking, the debates, man. Get some genuine niggas who really appreciate this shit and not on some money shit every time. Like I hear Black Jesus and this nigga screaming money every second for a debate. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, my nigga. I don't give a fuck about the money. If you want to throw me some bread, it's all good, but I'm not here for the bread, nigga. I'm making my money. I got my own fucking business. I'm not hungry for money off of this shit. You see what I'm saying? And if niggas get their motherfucking YouTube page popping, they'll see their income from that shit. I be hearing like Brother Reggie, he be complaining that niggas don't hit his cash app. My nigga, that shit make you look bad when you say that, my nigga. It's like you look real bad when you say that type of shit. You don't beg for no money, my nigga. Niggas gonna donate. I don't sit here and beg for shit. Yo, man, my cash, ain't nobody hit my cash app. You'll never, ever hear me say that shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm here for the information. If I want to make money, I'm gonna go out there and hit the streets and make money. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You need to do the face-to-face, man. Get back to the face-to-face. You need to get back to the goddamn face-to-face. When I was face-to-face with Ben Melick, I like the face-to-face. Let me see. The face-to-face debates. You know what I mean? Let me see. This is what I'm about right here. I'm a hands-on person. Always been a hands-on person. Meaning to say you'll never get me turned up on the internet. That's what we dealing with here. See that? That right there. See me right there? See Ben face to face. This is how I like to do it. This is how I was doing it. And I was doing it like this before the fucking internet, my nigga. When we used to go downtown 5 Points and we used to have it out with the Christians, we used to have it out with the who else to be out there? The Nubians, of course the Israelites, the 5%ers was out there for a minute. You know what I mean? But that's face to face, my nigga. That's how I like to do it. So if you want to talk shit and get reckless, nigga, we can fight right there. If you want to take it there. No, I ain't gonna take it there. But that's what it's about, man. Face to face debates. The elder came and got his motherfucking ass handed to him. He didn't even want to go the second round. I've been hungry for debates. You know what I mean? Who's that? The Yara Ben Yehuda. That nigga still talking shit. He got his fucking ass handed to him. Caleb, he did pretty good. He was respectable. So I don't talk bad about the young God. I only talk bad about niggas who talk that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga over here thirsting and waiting. What'd you say? Yeah, Mally, you heard it up. Mally said, I seen that debate in 2000. Yeah, let me tell you something. That debate was supposed to spark a chain reaction of events with his squad. He had his niggas out there. His followers was out there. He had Yak. Yak was out there. What up, Yak? If you listening, you ain't never step up to the plate, take the challenge, nigga. Called you out on Facebook, you ran too. You my man and all, but you ran too. Y'all niggas ran from your elder. If I beat up your elder, what that say about you, nigga? Because your knowledge can't surpass your elder. That nigga did 80 push-ups. I should have recorded that shit. Damn, I should have recorded that shit. That nigga did 80. That old man, 63 years old, did 80 push-ups after that debate. I was like, that's crazy. I remember that debate. The dude with the fur shoes. Yeah, he's an artist. Yeah, he had the goddamn lion shoes, but he's an artist. You know what I mean? Although, you know, we was clowning the shit, but that nigga nice with the artwork. When I went to his crib, that nigga had all type of shit in the crib, like all type of artsy shit. You know what I mean? My man, y'all, the cat you see here, matter of fact, definition. That nigga hit me up. I gotta hit him up, but like niggas don't be like, nigga, the train going this way, my nigga. Like, you hop on board, nigga. The shit going this way. Gave my man to your watch, but this nigga lost and never recovered. You still talking about Yahshua, and I'm like, man, y'all niggas, man. That's why I can't fuck with y'all niggas. Because y'all niggas reverting backwards. Y'all ain't moving forward. Y'all niggas want to stay stuck on believing in Yahshua as your savior. Yeah, I was there too, but nigga, when the information increases, it's time to move forward, nigga. You got to become the Yahshua. The fuck you waiting on Yahshua for? And Yahshua said you're gonna do greater things than me, but y'all waiting for a second coming from a nigga who said you're gonna do greater things than me. The fuck wrong with y'all niggas, man? The Bible got these niggas bound. The Bible spell, nigga. The God spell is serious. You said moonwalking. Yeah, the nigga did 9. The nigga did 80 push-ups. I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't have dropped down and did no 80 push-ups. That nigga dropped down and did 80 straight push-ups. I was like, damn. He counted them shits too. By the time the nigga got to 30 and 40, I'm like, what the fuck wrong with this? What type of nigga this is? When the nigga hit 60, I'm like, nigga, how you lose a debate? Nigga doing 80 push-ups and lost a debate. That was that debate. Ain't no niggas, ain't none of that nigga crew stepped up. Ain't none of them niggas stepped up. They was out there, they was behind the cameras. You couldn't see them, but they was there. Them nigglins was there. See that? That's my man Yohad right there. That's Yohad Ben Yehuda. That's my man. We went to high school together. I produced the whole project for this nigga. I do a lot for a motherfucker. I do a lot for a lot of niggas, for them niggas to get in their feelings about anything I do. Because ain't nobody return the favor for reality or Selah Shalom. You know what I mean? I'll be out here bringing niggas to my crib, producing whole albums for niggas for free, giving niggas beats. I'm talking about some classic shit, some real hip-hop shit. But then when it's time to return the favor, niggas ain't there. But niggas got the nerve to be bitter with the God. And that goes for a lot of niggas I fuck with. I ain't got to mention no names because my actions speak louder than my words. If a nigga ain't giving forth and putting forth what you bringing, man, separate yourself from 5 niggas on the same level. Man, I beat up this elder, man. And y'all see the big Sonny Gallo in the back. Hold on, where he at? Y'all see the big Sonny Gallo right there? That's my bodyguard. He came out there to be my bodyguard. That man is a straight killer in real life. That nigga done took lives and he did his jail time and came home for it. That's my martial arts instructor. That's my motherfucking Cijo in martial arts. You know what I mean? You're like your teacher or whatever. That nigga straight killer. Straight killer. Wild Brooklyn, Brownsville nigga. Mixed with Italian blood. I trained under him. See what I'm saying? That nigga trained me what to do and what not to do in situations because he done killed niggas. He done got situations that your reality. This what works and this what don't work. That's my man. We fell out, nigga. Me and this man right here drew guns on each other. He had a 38 and I had the fucking 380 pointed at each other, my nigga. That's how ugly shit got between me and him. Because we two crazy ass motherfuckers. And we was about to blow each other fucking away in my shit, in my car. I was about to shoot this nigga and jump on my whip. That's how ugly it got. We laugh about it now. Because we two fucking demented, crazy niggas. Selah Shalom cool, but I'm off, my nigga. Like, I'm off mentally. I'm West nigga. We could be on some wild shit when it's time to go there. I'm a radical motherfucker. Destructive nigga. That's my nature when I lose it. Destructive. Ask the wifey. She'll tell you. You know how many holes a nigga punched in this motherfucker? But that's part of human nature. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend. I ain't gonna sit here and act like a nigga's holier than thou 24 hours out the day. Yeah, nigga get frustrated. But nonetheless, I'm face to face. That's how I like to do these debates. We can do the internet face to face, but that's my man Yoad. That's the big Sonny Gallo. They go me. They go to Elder, and look, they go one of his men right there with the camera right there. That's one of his men. I brought my camera to tripod. That's some dude and his girl came. The baby crying in the background. That's that nigga girl and the child. Let me see if I can find any more of. Well, you ain't gonna see too many more of his minions and shit. But I ate the L of this debate. You know what I mean? Look at this nigga. This nigga looking like the motherfucking first Hebrew ever right there. Straight. He looking like he's straight from Israel, straight from Jordan. When I seen this nigga come, I'm like, oh, this nigga about to come with some shit. Look how this nigga dressed. Oh, man, this nigga must got heavy knowledge. Man, this nigga was weak. Weak. But he cool, though. Don't get me wrong. That old elder, that nigga, he gangster like a motherfucker. Don't get it twisted. He pop his shit. That's how we got in the ring. That nigga was talking shit. And you ain't about to just run your mouth and, I'll take, no, don't get me wrong. I'll let you talk your shit. But I got a breaking point, too. My breaking point niggas gonna match your shit and probably even more. Because when my breaking point came, it came in that nigga crib, boy. I was like, yo, I'll be right back. My man ran out there, was like, yo, chill. I'm like, nigga, this is about the knowledge. It ain't no gangster shit, nigga. But the way I came off, he thought it was some gangster shit. Like, nigga, fuck out of here. So we ate that nigga up. We ate that nigga up for breakfast. And I wish I would have seen after the debate. After the debate, a crowd of people came around because the timetables, a prophecy was laid out on the table. I mean, laid out on the floor. This shit right here. See that? Nigga, I brought the whole timetables of prophecy out there. When I wrote that shit out, if you would have seen how people was looking at this chart, niggas was like, what is this? What the fuck type of shit is this? And it made sense to them. I'm talking about the average joker. Stop. The average joker that was walking past, that was probably on break at work, walked by and seen that shit, and it made sense to him. The people who seen this map, who came to my house and seen this shit, that shit made sense. They was amazed to see that there's a algorithm of creation on this level. The Bible ain't got no shit like this. That's why you niggas ain't even seen the half of the Owaspy. Y'all talking all this shit of the Owaspy. Bitch, when we display this motherfucking information in comparison to your Bible, bitch, you ain't gonna have no legs to stand on. That's why the fuck I think y'all niggas ain't stepped up to the plate. If I was an easy debater or easy nigga to get around, y'all would have been at my head. Sarnetta would have been caught me, was like, yo, I got this nigga for you. Sarnetta ain't hit me up since Nepal. Christina, Nick, and Nepal really supposed to have been Selah Shalom and got there in Nepal, because Sarnetta hit me up before Christina Nick about hitting me up with Nepal. They ain't hit me back, though. They ain't hit me back. You know why? Because it's going to be embarrassing. Nepal get it in, but see, you ain't going to beat me. I'm too strategic for you. I'm going to outwit you. You're going to get in your feelings and your emotions because I got an over amount of information to power your God. You notice she's trying to wiggle her way out from the biblical God, because you know you can't represent that God going against Selah Shalom. I'm going to crush your ass. Now you're trying to scoot over to Kemet. That's cool. I know Kemet too. I'm going to crush them niggas' spiritual system too. The Kemetic spiritual system against the Owaspy spiritual system. I'm going to crush them niggas. I don't give a damn because of 6,000 to 10,000 years old. Bitch, I'm Kemetic too, nigga. I'm Kemetic too. Like I said, when I pull out this timetables of prophecy chart, man, these niggas was going crazy out there, man. 2015 ain't none of that nigga. His people, his followers, the elder followers, is where the camera is, behind the camera, so you can't really see him. Man, ate that nigga alive. Then this goofy right here ate this nigga alive. Y'all remember this goofy right here? This goofy right here? Ate that nigga alive. What was the topic of the debate? Who is God? Yeah. This nigga started talking about the majestic plural. This nigga's trying to go into the etymology. This nigga ain't know what the fuck he was talking about. The title is simple, nigga. Who is God? Who is El Elohim, nigga? Because when you transfer that shit into Hebrew, you got to deal with the fact that it say El. First, you got to deal with the fact that it say Elohim. Then you got to deal with the fact that it say Allah. Then you got to deal with the fact that it say El. And ain't none of these motherfuckers Yahuwah. Nowhere it says Yahuwah under the motherfucking premise of El, Elohim, and El. And Allah. Ate his ass up for lunch. Easy work. And then Caleb. Respect to the young God, but I gave him that work too. Cook this nigga. Cook this nigga. Hear that? There you go. Cook this nigga. That's 3 debates right there. Cooked all 3 of these niggas. Easy work. Nigga just patiently waiting for the next nigga to step up. And if I would have lost, I'll admittedly say, like, yeah, the nigga got me. He cooked me on that one. Nigga, because I love the spoil of this shit, nigga. If a nigga beat me, I'm a lie. I wasn't checking for that area. I'm gonna check, nigga. Boom. But nah, nigga, when it comes to this Bible shit and this theology and the God concept, I'm gonna roast you niggas every time. I'm gonna roast you niggas. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I fucking laid the foundation for this OSP shit. The God, Lord God, nigga, I laid the foundation. So my strategy game is on a whole nother level. Because I'm not just dealing with knowledge. I'm dealing with wisdom. I'm perceiving I'm like jujitsu. Whatever you throw at me, I'm gonna reverse it on you. So my strategy is not concrete. My strategy is swift and changeable, like the gods. Swift and changeable. When you in a fight, you got to be swift and changeable. You can't come in there with a mindset or what you think you're gonna do. You got to adapt accordingly, immediately. So if I'm in a debate and this nigga start talking about some shit that's off, I'm gonna address that immediately. As soon as my round come up, I'm gonna address his inconsistencies and then roast your ass. Yeah, man. Any nigga pick up the Bible and go against the OSP, I'm gonna roast your ass. I don't give a fuck what the topic is. As far as dealing with the God concept, dealing with the science. If you want to do dabble in the science, nigga, we'll beat your ass there too. Easy. See how I dismantled the 7-day creation story? See how I dismantled it? Like, nigga, you can't sit there and say that God didn't create the earth in one day. He created the earth, in 24 hours. The heavens and earth, 24 hours. Would you say, King? Ben Daoud is running around Facebook saying he won. Yeah, ain't nobody left. Ain't nobody studying this nigga, man. That nigga lost like a motherfucker. Your own peers say you lost, nigga. Ain't you a student of Zion Lex, nigga? Divine Prospect, all them little niggas that get that work, man. Sinetta fucking had Divine Prospect hemmed up on that rape shit that, God allowed rape. And, Divine Prospect a little slick nigga. He tried to use big words and intellectualism and really don't be saying shit. Same thing with Polite sometimes. Niggas will use big words, but when you filter out and get to the root of what niggas saying, niggas ain't really saying much. It sounded big. It sounded philosophical. But nigga, you still got to deal with the fact that your God is an angel, nigga. I don't give a fuck how philosophical you get. I don't give a fuck. You got before the captivity and after the captivity, post captivity, pre captivity. Yeah, pre-exilic captivity, pre-exilic. See, niggas want to sound. See, the pre-exilic. Get the fuck out of here, niggas. Get the fuck out of here. That shit don't sound. That shit don't mean shit because you say pre-exilic. That don't make you smart. What makes you smart is understanding that your God is a goddamn man, an angel, running around, fooling you niggas thinking that's the creator. I seen on one post Divine Prospect had where he said, my deity is Yahweh. You a dumb nigga. What you mean your deity? So you acknowledge to be worshiping the man, nigga. Bow down at my feet, nigga. If you're gonna bow down to Yahweh, a deity, bow down at my feet. What's the difference, nigga? You bowing down to another man? Your God require you to fall on your face before him. Another man. You niggas is gonna be sitting in the arena, and in the center of the arena is gonna be one nigga standing, and that nigga gonna go like this. Bow. Bow, niggas. Bow. You niggas gonna bow on your face like the Muslims, thinking y'all worshiping the creator. Dum-dums. We are Yahweh. Now let me clarify that right there. Let me educate you. Let me educate you, beloved. Because you can't say anything around me, and I don't check that shit. Respectfully, right? So you said we are Yahweh. Now let me show you something. First time Yahweh is used, beloved, right, is in Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. That's where we going right quick. This is the very first time Yahweh is used. He says, we are Yahweh. So if we are Yahweh, that means that because I am a deity. I am a man. I'm a sentinel being, flesh and bone. When I cross over, I'm a celestial being, right? That means I am a deity. Now, Yahweh, the very first time Yahweh is used is right here. This is the very first time the word Yahweh is used, right here. This is Yahweh, the Lord. In English is Yahweh. So let's get the Strong's Concordance. Let's give some enlightenment to the brother, because he said we are Yahweh, right? Correctly speaking, you would have been technically correct if you would have said we are Elohims. Because see, when you click on Elohim, right? Notice when I clicked on Elohim, look what's associated with the word Elohim, right? You see angels right here, right? You see angels right here again, right? And then when you click on the word Elohim to get to the root, to the char root Allah, look what Allah is associated with. Deity, right? What is a deity? A man, a human being. See that? This is a deity. These are deities, people, men, right? These are deities, whether it be the Egyptian gods, the Sumerian gods. A deity is a man or a woman. So technically, according to the Hebrew, God is a man. If it's a goddess, it'll be a woman. So you would have been right in exact saying we are Elohims, we are gods, because we are deities. But you said we are Yahweh. Now let's go back to the root word of Yahweh. Now, I showed you that God is associated with deity, right? An angel. When we click on Yahweh, notice Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Jehovah, Jehovah. Notice what Yahweh is associated with. The existing one, right? Yahweh, self-existing or eternal, Jehovah, right? Come back up. This is the proper name of the one true God, and that's inconsistent. That's an error. Because now by saying associating Yahweh with God, you deified the creator, because the word Jehovah means existing one. One who, and then let's go to the root word of Jehovah, which is Yahweh. Hawa. This is the primary root word. And it means to be, to become, come to pass. See, none of this is associated with angel. None of this is associated with deity, nor idols. So Yahweh is creator. He's not associated with deity. Now look at the definitions. Notice it doesn't say nothing about an angel in the references. It don't say nothing about deity. It don't say nothing about idols. Look what it says, to become. How does one become? How does one come into existence? How does things come into existence? Things come into existence by vortexia, according to the Owaspi. The power of vortexia is what create things. So Yahweh is the force and power to create. But Elohim, coming back to Elohim again, Elohim, which is God, is where you find deity. Look how God is not associated with to become, is not associated with self-existent. Notice God is associated with angels, divine ones, rulers, judges. All these are classified under human beings, celestial or terrestrial. The terrestrial is the flesh and blood that we are. The celestial is after you shed this flesh and body, you have a spiritual body that looks just like this one. Simple math. That's why anytime you see the angels, they look like men, because they were one time men on the planet or another celestial inhabitable world. Yes, my brother. So just to put things in clarity, that we are Elohims, but we are not Yahuwah creator. Because if we say that, then we're deifying creator and putting creator in the image of man. You dig? Yes, sir. You said we both? Nah, man. You can't be both, yo. That's what the false gods did. Let me show you something. Let me read you something. Let me show you something that can't be so. You said that God and Elohim are the same, right? That's what you said, right? Let me show you that they're not the same. Respectfully. See, if I see wiggle room, I'm gonna address it. That's all. It's all good. We address wiggle room if it's there. This one verse is gonna let you know that, you know, we got to reconsider some things. All right, let's go to the Owaspi, right? Right? Look, God reveals who he is. This is the book of Owaspi. This is the book of discipline. This is God talking, right? Just listen. Hear the words of your God, O man. I am your brother, risen from mortality, terrestrial, to a holy place in heaven, celestial. Profit in my wisdom and be admonished by my love. Now check it. This is God talking, letting you know who he is. For as I am your elder brother, so it shall be with you. So God is letting you know, I'm a school teacher right now. You a student. One day you could become a school teacher like me. That's what God is telling you in layman terms. See, I give it to you where baby can understand. But this is God. I'm going to show you that this is not the creator. Again, for as I am your elder brother, so shall it be with you, to rise also in time to come and look back to mortals and call them to the exalted heavens of the Almighty. So this is God saying this. So who is the Almighty? I thought God was the Almighty. They said God was both. Now look, to Jehovah, this is God saying, to Jehovah, all adoration and glory forever. They're not the same. All life, motion, and power, and things seen and unseen are by and through him. Who is him? Jehovah. Who is him? Motion. We already expressed that motion is the positive vortexia, he and him. So now, look what it states right here. Neither is there any angel. I already showed you that God is an angel through the Hebrew Strong's Concordance. So it says, neither is there any angel in heaven so high nor sufficiently wise to comprehend Jehovah in his entirety, nor to see him as though see your fellow man. They're breaking down the separation between the creator and the deities, the angels. The Bible don't do that. What the Bible did was associate Elohim, Yahweh with Elohim. That's why it says the Lord God. They deified the creator by associating Lord with God. In the Owaspi, it's saying what? It's saying the opposite. It's saying nah. It says you can't see the creator. It says there is no angel, no Elohim, no El in heaven so high or sufficiently wise to comprehend Jehovah, which is the Lord Yahweh in his entirety, nor to see him as you see your fellow man. That's a cut right there. That's a cut right there. And here's the death blow cut, in a sense, to distinguish that. Look, hear your God, O man, and distinguish then that the two, God and Jehovah, are not the same one, nor is your God more than that what you shall be in time to come. So this is right here. God and Jehovah are not the same. While in the Bible, right here, the Lord God is associated with being one and the same. While the Owaspi is saying what? God and Jehovah are not the same. Keep in mind, Jehovah is Lord. So it's saying Jehovah Elohim, they deified Jehovah. This is what Lex Vortex be exposing. The Yahweh Elohist, the Yahweh Elohims. Because it's Yahweh supposed to be the creator, and Elohim is the deity, supposed to be the name, the title of the deity. So God is the title, Yahweh is the name, but nonetheless, these are deities. They deified the Lord Yahweh into a man according to the Bible, while the Owaspi is distinguishing that God and Jehovah, so Elohim and Yahuwah, Jehovah the Lord, is not the same. Bong. It's clear like that. You feel me? It's clear like that, my brother. It's a blood clot vibes. They said big man, it's clot and clear. It's clot and clear. He said, I think we're saying the same thing. Okay? We think you're saying it. See, to avoid brothers attacking each other, I address chapter and verse. Notice everything I presented, right? I didn't give you my opinion about it. I gave you an explanation based off the chapter and verse. So I present the chapter and verse, and then I present the narrative. I don't lean on my own understanding. See what I'm saying? Like the Bible say, don't lean on your own understanding. We can lean on our own understanding over here as long as it's tied in with creation and making sense. You know what I mean? Where it says, sister, and big up yourself, lodge up yourself. Let me know when you drop the link so I can rephrase everything. No, man, I feel you. I hear you. I believe you. If you saying what I'm saying, if you saying that, I'll say that if you could show me in the Bible the difference between the Creator and God, I'll let you win. If you could go to chapter and verse and say, all right, let me give you an example of what I'm saying so there's no confusion. I'm saying that God and Jehovah are not the same. I showed one verse saying that, right? That was one verse saying that. Now show me one verse like I showed, one verse where it distinguishes Jehovah separate from the Elohims. Yes, my brother, much respect. You're done, no king. You know what? Let me drop the link. Let me drop the link. Let me see where brothers is at. Respectfully, because you know me, man. I like to build, man. I ain't with the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So respectfully, drop some knowledge, my brother. I want to pick your brain. I dropped the link. I want to pick your brain. Because you may not be a Bible believer like that. You may be more open-minded and more of a free thinker. Or you could be orthodoxy. It's all good, either or. You know, this show was called According to the Text, as it is written. That ain't never changed. It's still that. You know what I'm saying? So we go, you know, the link is there. Matter of fact, whoever want to come in who oppose the Bible, that could show me and distinguish a difference between Jehovah and God in the Bible. Is there a difference or are they the same? I say there's a difference. I showed you one verse where Jehovah and God are not the same. Those who follow me, y'all, we already know that it's a difference between the Elohims and Jehovah. But according to the Bible, a lot of times they associate Elohim with the Creator. That's where the false gods fucked up at. It ain't your fault. It's the false gods through the hands of the scribes' fault. Because it's the scribes who wrote down the words of the deities to give to us. So now that we able to comprehend and think, we're like, hold up, man. First of all, this nigga said, let us make men, and he's supposed to be one God. Why is he saying, let us make men? Ain't he the Creator? When you read the Yawaspi in the book of Jehovah, Jehovah is Creator. Jehovah creating everything. It says I. It says I. Let me give you an example. The book of Jehovah, the very first book, right? The very first book, right? Look what it says. I'm going to just point out the I's to show, because I represents oneness, singularity. Plural, you can't be one Creator talking about plurality. Now, this is the book of Jehovah, right? Chapter 1. Now, we done killed verse 1 already a billion times over. But let's start at verse 2 because we're talking about singularity because the Creator is single. He said, I am. See it? He didn't say we are. He said, I am. I. See the I right there? And he comprehended all things, the seen and the unseen, nor is there anything in all the universe that is not part of him. Now, when people think of him, I told you that the Creator is not a deity. What is this him? This is coming back to verse 1. All was, all is, all shall ever be. The all spoke, motion was, is, and ever shall be. Being positive was called he and him. So he and him is motion. That's what we talk about when we say he and him. The positive force or the positive vortexia of Creator. If you want to get electricity, you got to have a positive and a negative charge. Electricity sparks life. You cannot have life without an electrical spark. Cells are electricity. An electron is electrical. Electrons surround the center of an atom, which is the neutrons and protons, but it's electrical. When atoms receive electrons, it becomes more negatively charged. It becomes more feminine, as far as feminine energy. When an atom releases electrons, that atom is positively charged. So when we're talking about positive and negative, well, matter of fact, when we're talking about he and him, we're talking about creator as far as positive energy, right? So again, he said what? I am. See that? Look at the eyes. Let's come down here. I am the quickener, the mover, the creator, destroyer. I am the first and the last. See? Throughout the Owaspi, it's showing you singularity. He says, I am one. I heard the beat. Peace to the righteous God. What's going on, King?
What's up, big dog?
Peace to the God. What's good? Talk to me.
I think we saying the same thing. Yes, we are the Elohim. We are the ancestors of the Elohim. Okay. Yahweh. Let's go to the Yahweh.
Before you go there, what's your stance? I see the base, so you were more. I'm assuming.
It's complicated. I would say I'm an Israelite, but
okay.
I believe that we are Moors.
Okay, because the Israelites and Moors do have a connection, like
exactly.
As far as like the Moors, because a lot of Moors, like what's his name? I think Alim Bey. He talk about, he's a Moor and say that we Israelites, and I think that's the main one I heard really stress the fact that the Moors represent Israelites as well. But all right, so you're Israelite. So are you orthodoxy in the sense of you Bible only, or are you a open-minded reader? You know what I mean?
I'm both, but I'm really connected to the Old Testament.
All right, cool. All right, so let me ask you this then. Do you accept Yeshua as Messiah?
That's complicated. That's complicated too.
No, we could build. It ain't no. It ain't no. You know what I mean? We just building. If yay or nay, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? Because we just building. It ain't no debate or nothing like that. You feel me?
I believe that he was the last King of Kings. I don't believe he's gonna come out in no sky or nothing like that.
So you don't believe in the second coming?
I believe Christ coming back, not Jesus himself.
All right. So explain that when you say Christ is coming back, but not Jesus. What do you mean by that?
Christ is a title.
Okay.
I believe it means Messiah, right?
Well, Christ means anointed. Messiah means to be smeared with oil.
Exactly.
So it's an association, yeah.
Exactly. So, I believe another intelligent being, as Moses and Abraham, even modern days, Dr. Martin Luther King, or what's his name, Malcolm X will come back again, but he's gonna be well prepared. Yeah.
So the Christ is gonna come back along the lines of like our black leaders in that sense, or is he coming back like doing miracles like Yeshua did 2,000 years ago?
It can be either or.
Okay. All right. So Revelations 19 talks about the second coming of Christ, and it's interesting because you did say Christ, which is what the Bible says. It says Christ. It doesn't say Jesus.
Exactly.
So that's interesting that you actually made that distinction. So and then even in Matthews, when he talks about the coming of the Son of Man, he doesn't say like, look for me coming back. He's telling you like, look for somebody to come. That's exactly. Not gonna be me.
Exactly.
So it's interesting how you made that distinction, because a lot of people are not like really analytical to be like, yo, these are two different people here. I know we was taught that Jesus coming back, but
I'm not a follower.
Got you.
When I first came into the truth, yes, I was a follower, but in the same breath, I read the book for myself. I didn't follow nobody else. When I first came in, I did to get little scraps of certain things.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, you done know, right?
But then I had to read it for myself. So I took it from the front. And read it for myself. And that's what inched me out of these dogmatic Israelite camps.
I feel you on that. Let me ask you this. All right, so we clear on the fact that I like how you distinguish the fact that Christ and Yeshua is different. So when Yeshua, did you believe Yeshua came 2,000 years ago? Did you believe he walked the earth?
Yes, I believe he walked the earth.
All right. So when he was talking about the Son of Man coming, do you think the Son of Man that he was referencing is that the Christ in Revelation 19?
Say it one more time.
The Son of Man, because you know the in Matthew, I think it was 24, I forget what chapter, when the disciples asked what is going to be the sign of thy coming, and he starts talking about the signs of the Son of Man coming. But in him saying that, he's talking as if it's somebody else, not he himself. So
Right.
I was just saying, do you think that the Son of Man that they're referencing as who's supposed to come at the end of days, is that the Christ?
Yes.
All right, so let me ask you this. In Daniel, when it talks about Ancient of Days.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead, Ken.
I believe the book is older than what we think it is.
Okay.
I believe everything in Revelation already happened.
Okay. You know, it's funny you say that, because I like just piggybacking off the belief system. I was saying the same thing, because I said these revelations, it's 2,000 years later, and niggas is acting like these revelations is now starting. Exactly. I'm like, bro, you got 2,000 years of history from the time Yahshua said what he said till now, that at least goddamn, like you said, the majority of that shit had to been fulfilled. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But no, go ahead though.
Some of these people that just not coming in, and when I mean just not coming in, it could have been 5 years ago. This book is very thick. It's very. I'm still in the book, because you can't know everything out the book unless you study. So
right.
It's not just gonna be overnight. You're gonna learn this book. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna learn even more in the next 5 years. So, yeah.
So what makes you what made you choose? Well, the Old Testament is foundation period for all Israelites.
Exactly.
What made you kind of look at the New Testament sideways? Because I noticed you kind of made that distinction, like you deal more with the Old Testament.
I don't want to be sound facetious or whatnot.
No, speak your piece, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I read the book. I know Paul is from Rome. I know Matthew is from Macedonia. I know Paul was getting beat up by the centurions, the Romans. They told him, "Don't tell the truth about their Messiah." So
keep talking. Let me just grab a drink.
So you keep reading the book. He's changing everything about Jesus and everything that Jesus told them to do. I'm just using Jesus for now, okay? So if you read the book, Peter, Paul, all of these guys, and changed everything about the Messiah. So,
are you familiar with a brother by the name of a YouTube channel honoring humility STL, Malachi Maccabee?
No.
All right, yo Malachi, if you listening, drop your link to some of your videos on Paul. This brother right here, King, he goes heavy in on Paul. I'm talking about he goes into the background and shows how Paul is a Herodian. He's an Edomite. Shows the bloodline and all that. I think you would enjoy what he presented. I mean, if the God is still here, Malachi, just drop the link in the chat, and if you see the link, you can just copy it and then save it for later, whatever.
Okay.
So let me ask you this now. Let's get to
Yahweh.
Yeah. Let's get to that. All right. So I know you said we are Yahweh. You know, and I made the distinction as far as based off the etymology of the word Yahweh, that, you know, according to the definition.
I probably rephrased it wrong. Okay. I'm just throwing it out there. Somebody can bite the bait.
Hold up. Say that again, King.
I probably rephrased it wrong.
Nah, it's all good. Shit, I do it all the time. You know what I mean? That's why I just made the correction in a sense, because, like, we are Elohims. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We are Elohim. But see, for us, we classify Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahuwah. We classify that as creator, omnipotent, not in the image of man. You can't see him. He has no beginning, no ending, but you learn through creation. That's how we look at Jehovah, Yahuwah. But we look at the Elohims like me and you, like we gods, and the females are goddesses. And when we cross over, all our ancestors who done passed on, they mature in the atmospheric realm belonging to the earth, and they educate themselves. And when they become so advanced in the realm, they take on these titles as lords and gods and lord gods or guardian angels in position in the heavenly kingdom. But what these false gods have done is that they have told us that they are the creator in the image of man, looking like us, and that's where the confusion comes in. And it's been going on for the last 6,000 years.
Okay, I'll probably throw a lot of people off with this one. I don't believe the creator have a name. He have titles.
Right.
Yahweh is just a title. Yahweh is a level of thought. What I learned from Noble Drew Ali, you have to go into different languages. I done went into Akkadian languages, Giz languages, Hebrew, Aramaic. I don't speak these, but I study these. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts. That's
So
a good point, though. I like how you said that. The creator got a name, but he got titles. That do make sense.
exactly. And some call him Hashem or Hashem.
The name, facts.
It called the name, right? So I don't believe he have a name, and that makes more sense than anything. I don't think a creator came down and said, "Hey, this is my name."
Facts. And you know what? That's dope, because even the Yowaspy, when it gives the expression of the name Jehovah, it just doesn't say like, "This is my name." It's like, "Yo, check out the winds, check out the sounds, check out the vortex." These sounds is these utterance, tones, hums, ohms. You know what I mean? These are the frequency of the creator. You know what I'm saying?
You just said it. The ums.
Yeah, yeah.
In India, they took the sound of the universe and they say So
hey, that may be the close name to the creator right damn there.
Exactly, and that's what they call the name of the creator. Because that's what the universe said. So like I said, I probably
no, you're right and exact, because even in the Owaspy, the creator is expressed as you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he does?
Yeah, it's a section in there. I can try to find it real quick. Or somebody in the chat. Let me put y'all to work, goddammit. Show who got the verse where it talks about creator being It's in the book of Safar somewhere.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Owaspy is, it's a magnificent, it's a big read. It's like the Bible. It's a lot to digest, but you know, everybody process and development is different on how they perceive things and how they, digest things and catch on to things. Some people are more quicker to do it. Some people take more time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm patient with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I always dip in and out of her in your room, and I be listening and whatnot, because I can't, how can I say, I can't relate to certain Israelites, only can relate to them because they use the title that they Israelite.
Right, facts.
And there's a lot of Israelites that just follow. They just follow and follow and follow. And you, as an Israelite, you cannot just follow. You got to read the book for yourself. And
well, what's some of the Israelites you do agree with, though? Because I know we beat up on our brothers a lot, but who do you see out with?
The people that woke me up was IUIC.
Nathaniel.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Nathaniel, he been putting in some pain for years. I remember when he got started on over there on Eastern Parkway, when it was just him and one dude on the corner. I seen him build that whole platform.
And you see he changed his doctrine too.
Oh yeah, what he changed? Because I don't really follow. I don't be really keeping up like that with them cats. But what he changed though?
He's more into like the Moorish doctrine, but he don't say we Moors or whatnot like that. And I understand that, because the Moors, the word Moor is not the original name. That's just what I have found.
Okay.
The Moors' original name is Cushites, and if we pay attention to the book, the Hebrews, they always had children by Cushites. So, even Abraham, we say that she was a Egyptian. She was an Egyptian slave or whatever, but she was actually a Cushite. Moses had children by a
Do,
Cushite.
do you believe we Cushites?
I believe majority of Hebrews are Cushites.
Interesting.
I believe some of the Egyptians are Cushites.
Most definitely. Definitely. I agree.
Back to this Yahweh thing.
You know what? I got that verse from that real quick. And I just found it. Let me read that for you real quick. Y'all chill out. Hush. Let me read this verse real quick. Hold on. Verse Table of Ben, verse 10. Around. Table of Ben, verse 10, my friend. Alright.
I've been in this for so long.
It's 11.
About 10 years or whatever. Probably going on 11 if I ain't counting correctly or whatever. And
yeah, man, keep an open mind, keep growing, you know what I mean? Never tie down to nothing. Creator's gonna always expand your mind. So just like the trees grow and that shit keep growing, it don't stunt and stop. Let your mind be like that. It's best to be knowing.
this
You gotta believe in nigga shit. Just know the shit, you know what I'm saying?
Lil Wayne said this. I'm gonna say this. You know who Lil Wayne is, right?
Of course. What you mean?
Okay. Lil Wayne said, I stopped writing because it was stunning his growth.
See that? Facts. Yup. Sure enough.
Stop trying to memorize verses because it was just stunning my reading.
Exactly.
Take time out. You know, while I'm trying to memorize this quote or this verse, I can be steady reading and going on and researching certain things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got
Many
that.
ways to quicken the mind.
Exactly.
But check it though, King. Look, we was talking about Om. So here in the Owaspi, he has a verse in the Book of Safar, Table of Ben, verse 11. It says, Om, the negative of Jehovah. Now, the positive of Jehovah is the masculine. The negative of Jehovah is what? The feminine. So it says, Om, the negative of Jehovah, the female. That which project is positive, that which receives is negative.
Mm-hmm.
So it's showing you there's a positive and negative force to the Creator. It says, let those who desire to receive spiritually ask for and those who go forth in might return thanks to Eolin, Zarathustra. So it just shows you that there's references to these things scattered about in the Owaspi where it talks about and a couple of other things, you know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting that how, you know, that's why I fuck with the Owaspi so heavy. First, it's a big book, you know what I mean? And it takes time to digest, but once you get it, it's like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like nigga rolling up. It's like taking the training wheels off. It's like, oh, okay, I got this. Like, damn, okay.
Because when I
No,
first to the Owaspi, like you said, it's a big book. And I was like, wow, this is too much to take in. So
yeah, that's what I said. It's like people have different. Like you have some people. It's just like in school. When you in school and you in class, and the teacher give an assignment. I know you can remember this in school. When you look around and you see some classmates, they're working it. They know their assignment. Then you got other classmates, they get frustrated because they can't figure out the assignment. They throw it on their pencil.
That's what I did.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got a nigga like me looking at the class like, y'all niggas get it? I want to ask one of you niggas, but I don't want to sound stupid asking you niggas. So you just sit there trying to figure this shit out. And then you start getting frustrated. Exactly. So this Owaspi, the Bible, the Quran, all the holy books is all how one perceives and can interpret it. And how one can get the understanding. Because some people, I know people who read the Bible their whole life and still don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
My mother say that shit. Hey, I read the book, but I just don't understand about it. See, oh my, fuck that Bible, nigga. Check go out because you don't waste all your life with that, and you still ain't learned the shit. So this shit gonna give you some better insight, especially when about life after death. You know, because the older you get, the more you start thinking about your goddamn death. I don't give a damn what nobody say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Just when you showing me that quote, I'm gonna try to see what's up. I've been in the Owaspi, you know, but I'm gonna try to see what's going on in there for real.
Yeah, you take your time. Ain't no rush. Ain't no rush with it. It's a vast book. It's real challenge. It's gonna challenge your beliefs. It's gonna challenge your self convictions. Because everything is laid out on the table, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some niggas be like, oh, the book racist, the book this, because it's raw.
Exactly.
And niggas get offended by the rawness of the book. Oh, it says the black people are dumb and stupid. It's a lot of you niggas out here dumb and stupid.
Exactly.
And it's not even talking about black folks like African Americans today. You're talking about the time where you talking about Homo habilis era. They talking about that time period. You know what I mean? So,
and that's what the HOK don't understand. Y'all want to hear a lie? No, it's not gonna be a lie in there. It's gonna tell you the good, the bad, the ugly.
yeah. Because niggas was trying to clown the book when because it talked about the angels had offsprings with the primitive man, and it was some white and yellow people. And what the fuck is this? And then I pulled up albinos. I said, according to what the book is saying, the only people on the face of the planet that got white skin and that's orange or yellow, white and yellow, like the Owaski say, is the albino people.
And I believe that strongly. I think the white man been here through our blood. I think he's nothing but a hybrid albino.
Yeah, the European, cause see, that's why it's good to be universal with the knowledge, King, because you got to study the haplogroups. Once you study the haplogroups, that kills the race process, because the haplogroups is about tracing the male Y chromosome. So the male Y chromosome starts with A000, A00, and that's the South African Bushman. And from there, supposedly every human being springs up out of that Y chromosome, all coming into the whitest, blondest European.
The Khoisan.
The Khoisan, exactly, King. Exactly, the South African Bushman. And them niggas is light skinned. They ain't even black.
Exactly, and that's where I'm at with it. Like trying to dig into their little history and their little bloodline and whatnot. Because they are old, very, very old, and they are connected to the Kushites, the Ethiopians, and whatnot.
And a lot of them got Asian features too.
Yes.
They don't got the hard Negro Congolese look. These niggas looking like fucking niggas who done migrated from Asia, some shit. They showed the picture with the female. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull them up real quick, just to show you that the difference between the Khoisan, the South African Bushman, in comparison to a Congolese or a Sudanese.
And like I said, like I was telling you, I think we were saying the same thing. It's just this Yahweh word we in battle with or whatnot. And what I got out of the Yahweh word is Yahwehism. It's just a level of thought. That's why the Israelites always built a temple, and everybody knows the temples are schools or universities or whatnot. Some of these mosques was schools and universities, so that's why they always built these mosques or these temples or whatnot for Yahweh. Yahweh is like a level of thought, a level of thinking. That's what my research got me at.
No, you're right, because the definition, the root definition means to become, to be aware, self-existence, and that's consciousness.
Exactly.
I mean, like the sister said earlier, she said that she believes that Christ is, she believes in Christ consciousness. Christ just means one who is awakened, who knows, who is conscious of themselves. They're conscious of their own existence. You ever been asleep? They call it sleep paralysis. But you ever been asleep and you can't wake up, but you're conscious? That's a form of death right there. That's what death is. When you're conscious, but you're not in your body. Some niggas can't fathom that.
Right.
But check this though. Coming back to what you said with the Kohen real quick. Like this is the South. This is the nigga with the oldest Y chromosome on the planet. Look, these niggas is light skinned.
The oldest in Africa.
Yeah, they light skinned. But look at these niggas. These the Congolese. Look at the Congolese. Look at these brothers right here. And look at these. Look at that. How this is the oldest, but these niggas come from this, according to the Y chromosome, according to the haplogroups.
Right. And I be trying to tell people this, and they just look at me crazy because people are stuck in color so much. I think that came from slavery because they just try to put color on everything, and I don't think it's like that at all. I don't think color have nothing to do with bloodline.
They don't. They don't. Because color, that's just part of your genetics. You know what I mean? That's your genetic. But look at these niggas. The Oaspi say the irons is white and yellow.
I'm hip. That man right there at the bottom, them two
They
guys.
call them niggas yellow right there.
Exactly, but them guys are black. Them Negro.
Yeah, them niggas. These the first niggas.
Man, I got an uncle that look just like them motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I know niggas that look just like this nigga right here. Look, I got a neighbor right now that look like him. Right here, dead ass. But these are the oldest people on the planet.
And like I was telling you, I think we were saying the same thing. You know, you just in the Owaspy, I'm in the Bible real good. I just go into other languages and try to figure out the definition of certain things. That's it.
Yeah, that's why I went into the etymology of the word, because that's why I said if you would have said we are Elohim, you would have been right and exact. But then when I said it's a difference between the Elohims and the creator, because that's what the false gods did. They deified themselves as creator in the image of man.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, the creator is omnipresent, everywhere present. You can't put him in a box.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who proclaims to be creator in the image of man is an idol. Because now we're looking upon a man, which is an idol, to worship. Because God tells you to worship him according to the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But the worship of the creator is service done unto others, doing good works to your brother or sister. It's not falling on your face saying a whole bunch of prayers. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but the Owaspy shows that prayer is active. It's works.
Okay, let me break it down.
Go ahead, King.
I think we're supposed to worship knowledge.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a level of thought. Yahweh.
What is worship to you?
Worship to me is highly praise it. Highly praise knowledge. Okay. You know, that's what I look at when I see Yahweh. You know, highly praise knowledge. And we all had to get some type of knowledge to get this understanding. Like you had to get the knowledge out of the Owaspy to get where you at. You feel what I'm saying? So that's when that's what I was saying. Yahweh, we are Yahweh. Probably not all of us, because we don't really worship knowledge. I got a couple of homeboys that's just street niggas, and they don't give a damn about no book. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he probably not Yahweh.
You know, like those brothers are just, you know what I mean? They ain't cracked the shell yet. They still in the street, just like us. We was them same cats in the streets, while the older cats, or the cats, even some that was our age, telling us what we telling motherfuckers now. So that's why you always got to give wiggle room to niggas. Don't ever, if your man out there wilding, let him wild it out. Let him get it out. Trust me. He got to get it out in order, because if a nigga ain't got a story to tell, what he living for?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Let niggas run their course. Let niggas bang their gun. Let niggas go to jail. Let niggas go through the trial and error, because that's what makes you turn away from the shit.
Yeah.
But the nigga who ain't experiencing this shit, that's the nigga who want to go tiptoeing through the tulips to find out it ain't what you think it is.
Right. Right. You're 100% right. Like I said, we were saying the same thing. I was just trying to rephrase everything.
But see, you're a free thinker, so I respect that. You're not an orthodoxy Hebrew. That's why I was taking that approach. Because see, when I'm dealing with certain, I'm tactical. So anytime, and this is just some advice for you, because I'm just building with you, right? But if you was on a channel like Sonetta saying some of these things, what he's gonna do is stop you. No, that's all good, because it's good. See, Sonetta's a chess player, and I'm not talking about chess in the game chess. I'm talking about intellectually. So you got to be able to maneuver and match a nigga's intellectualism, what he's coming at you with. This is jujitsu. Whatever nigga throw at you, you got to be able to reverse it and pin the nigga. See what I'm saying? So he may, just for hype, just that's what I say. Like, an important thing to always do when you speak is always start with the etymology of a word first, and then go into your assessment.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of people not understanding. You have to go into the etymology. I know y'all don't want to go into it. Have to go in the etymology to see what these words was 400, 600, 700 years ago. You have to.
And then the words change throughout, because for example, the word we use the word God, right? That's an English word, but
It's a,
that word has an actual
it's a
definition.
German word. It means God.
Exactly, and it means to what? Invoke, to call upon,
Exactly.
right? Now, when we go to Hebrew, the word Elohim means angels, means rulers.
Exactly.
It don't say nothing about calling upon, but then it could have an association, because if the word God in the Germanic means invoke, to call upon, who are you invoking? Who are you calling upon? And that's where the deity comes into play at.
Exactly. That's when he said when they made Babel, the Temple of Babel, when they came down and profaned all the languages, that wasn't no God. There was probably some kings that came down and profaned the languages, or angels, you want to call them.
Okay, okay, cool, and that's interesting. So when it says "let us make man," what is your take on that
Let us make man.
in Genesis 1:26?
It's just like saying, let me make a son. Let me make a son. Like I made my son, I made both of my sons, my daughter. Let us make, like I told my baby mama, let us make a baby. So that's how I take it.
Okay. Um, what is your take on Jacob and Esau? Because originally Esau was supposed to get the blessing, but
Exactly.
then Rebecca, was it Rebecca? Is it Rebecca or Rachel? I forget, but Jacob mother told her to lie. What's your take on that?
What I take on that? That's a hard one right there. I know Esau is the brother. I know he ain't no white man. But what I take on that, like we was talking about
Well, you
earlier,
know what? Let's pause right there. You said Esau is not the white man, because a lot of Israelites do say Esau is the white man. Who was Esau to you?
he's a brother.
Mm, that's deep.
And
Would
we
you consider?
so we
Consider? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
we just showed them Khoisan people, bush people, right?
Right.
And they say Esau was a hairy man and he was red skinned. But ain't Adam ruddy and he's a red man too? So in the same breath, that's kind of confusion in the same breath. But we understand through the book, if you read it, these Israelites have made it with all types of people, Egyptians, uh, the Canaanites, and everything. So yeah, they probably was a little bit darker at that time. That's the
Right.
thing, and that's what people don't understand. That was just at that time. Uh,
Right.
like Sarnetta talk about this rape all damn day. It was at that time. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, uh,
Now he was stressing the fact that God was condoning it, because and see,
I
this is
know
where the wisdom comes in at. Because see,
exactly.
Sarnetta is using wisdom and beating these niggas up with wisdom, let alone because the Israelites is coming with knowledge, chapter and verse from the book. The nigga is showing you like, yo, your God said this when he said over here, don't do this. How you clarify that? Instead of falling back and letting the book be like, well, you know what? I ain't got shit to do with that because I ain't write the shit. The shit was already here when I got here. You got a point. These niggas try to defend the lie, and that's where niggas fall up in the trap. Instead of acknowledging, they're like, yo, first of all, there's many gods in the book, many gods talking in the book, good and bad. But the way the book reads, it got you believing that all this is one deity.
Right,
So when you get caught up in these snares,
and you
you know
gotta
what I mean? When it says lying lips are an abomination, and then the Lord sends out lying lips, there's a conflict there now, because in one breath, the Lord say whoever lying lips is an abomination. So if the Lord is sending out lying lips, what does that make of the Lord? An abomination based off his own premise. And those the things you got to get sharp on, because you don't want to get caught out there and be looking a certain way when a nigga got you hanging on the ropes like that. So study Sarnetta, because he's showing you how to play the game.
mm-hmm.
Because he's coming from a nigga standing outside the book. Anybody that's standing outside the circle is always going to have a better parameter of what the fuck going on than somebody in the middle of the motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because he can't see the parameter. The nigga who see the 360 is always going to have to win.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So when you start getting tactical and strategizing on those levels, even with scripture, yeah, you're going to be a force to reckon with. Because I see where you at. You know what I mean? You're definitely on top of your shit. Just continue to study the etymology. So anytime you say you mention a term, you know, or Yahweh, you know what the etymology of the definition of what Yahweh is, going back to the Hebrew, to become, to exist. So a nigga won't catch you out there. Same thing with Elohim. You know what I mean? Because I caught a couple of them cats out there, and instead of rebutting it, they couldn't. So you know that's when the low blows start coming in there. But go ahead, King.
And people don't understand this. It's 66 books. In Ethiopia, it's 81 books. The Roman Catholic Church got 72 books. So it's different books. So you can't. I know. We like to go into the Genesis and then try to get our question out of Isaiah and whatnot. But in the same breath, it's different books. So you gotta understand these are different time zones. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So 9 out of 10, you probably not gonna get your accurate definition that you want out of it. You know what I'm saying? But the Bible is not just for you just to read by itself. It's to read the book and study the book. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got a question for you.
Talk to me.
Because you want to ask me all these questions. Okay. Do you believe that we are native to America? Also, I'm not just saying alone.
We indigenous, we the first copper colored people on the soil, but you know what I mean? Like, see, it's one point where you got to come back to the haplogroups. Because if I say we indigenous to the West, I got to prove that genetically. But if the haplogroups is sending me back to Central Africa, South Africa, with the Kohen people, the Kosen people, I got to start there and then show the migration of how the people came over here.
I'm been there for the past couple years now. This is what I'm saying. If you read the Bible very close, it tell you that we was in India, we was in China. China came to Egypt and everything. So if you want to figure out the names of China, China is called Siam. And if you want to find out the words in India, it's called Hodu, Hodu, Hodu. So we've been everywhere. So
right, but see, it was a time for that to happen. It was a migration.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So that's right and exact. Because when you look at the East Indians, you know what I mean, the Vindus, the Sadhu, with the long hair and the long locks. You got some of them niggas just as black as the Africans.
You say Sadhu, that's the same word I just said.
But the Sadhu, the ones. That's really where the Rastafari got their culture from, with the turban and the long locks.
Exactly.
They brought that from India to the Caribbean islands. They came as indentured servants in the 1800s. Because I'm West Indian, and my mother and my people be telling me the history of how the East Indians brought the culture to the Caribbeans, and what they brought was like curry. You know what I mean? They brought the locks. A lot of times you would think the locks came from us, but in the Caribbean it came from the Sadhu people, and they wore the garments. Let me pull up a picture of how the Sadhu people look real quick to show you that it's the same kind of look that what you see with the Rastafarians.
And we not understanding why is dark skinned Chinese people there? Why is dark skinned
facts
Indians there? You feel what I'm saying? So they let you know that somebody was there, mixed breeding or there at a point in time. You feel what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I believe that we was all over the world. I don't believe we just came from West Africa. We came from India. If you know the history and go into history, you'll see that we
like for example, like look, this is the Sadhu of India. Now, if you notice, look at the locks. You see the locks?
I'm here.
You see the turban?
I'm here.
Now, when we come to the rosters, see the rosters? See the locks?
I'm here.
But what happened is that these people came to the Caribbeans with this culture, this identity, this look, and then we adapted the shit. See that? These niggas been wearing the garments and the long locks. Been doing this shit.
Or they adopted it.
Vice versa. Matter of fact, they the same blood, so you know what I mean? It's one and the same, to be honest. What up, Cosmo?
Peace to the righteous God. What's the word?
God. Peace, God. What's good, King?
Ain't nothing, man. Y'all was jumping up into the conversation about the indigenous Americans, so I just wanted to add in my little 2 cents.
Yeah. Go ahead and drop some gems for the God, because I was just coming from, I always come from a strategic standpoint, not to get caught in no holes or nothing. So I always come from that why haplo group starting from there. But
yeah,
we could talk about Pan. But I'll let you go into that. You know what I'm saying? So you can talk to him about, not necessarily Pan, but the indigenous copper-colored people of North America. Go ahead, King.
Yeah. The indigenous copper-colored people are just that. And Owaspi reveals who these people are, and that he was during the Ark of Lu, circa 7,000 BC through 4,000 BC. A 3,100 year span of time, true God says, I'm gonna keep a remnant of these nigger types, which is called Ahuin. They are the large polygonal builders that we find everywhere in the world. But why we find them everywhere in the world is because they all come from one source. It's just that that source is no longer above water.
What if you are the source?
No, well, there's only one source, and that's creator.
Okay.
That's the creator. There's only one source. Well, what I'm saying is
go back to the copper colors. Yeah, stick on that right there. You was going in.
Right. The copper color indigenous man comes. First of all, you must understand that creator created man everywhere
in his image.
Okay, you could say that. You could say that as in male and female, as in receptive and positive, as in. I get it. Yes. Okay. But what I'm saying is he made man everywhere, all at the same time, not just in Africa and not just a pair. Exactly. He brought millions and millions of pairs everywhere, all at one time, and over a 6,000 year period, culminating in what we.
Let me ask you this, Cosmo. Do you think? Now we just building, of course. Now, do you think that niggas was created on Pan and migrated to the Americas, or niggas was created in the Americas?
Now, it's both. It's both, because our modern people survived an extinction level event to repopulate the whole world. One group of people repopulated everybody. This is the allegorical tale of Noah. But in fact, what happened, instead of 8 people going on to actually 6 people to go on and repopulate, the story told in the Ham Shem Yafet story.
Can I say something real fast? If you dip into the Hindu culture or whatnot, when they say 8 and 6 years and all of this bull crap, and it was 6 people, sometimes it don't mean that. It can mean 6 million years. It can mean six nations of the same bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Because you can say the world was made in 6,000 years, but in Hindu it says it means 6,000, 6 trillion years. You feel what I'm saying? So
no, I totally get what you're saying, because and it's exactly what you're saying. The story is told in allegory. See, Noah ain't a man. Noah is a time.
Allegory, I will say it's written in English. Point blank and period.
No, point blank and period. It's an allegorical told story for a true event. This is why it was told in story form so it could be remembered. And this is why but like you were saying, to get back on the topic, it's actually two different waves of people. There was a people who were from the original time man was created. There were those in America.
Let's start there. All right, stop right there. All right, stop right there for a minute. Stop right there. And then some dropped off. All right, so check it, King. When you read the Book of Stantantes, and he makes his trip to visit his lords, niggas was already over here in the Americas.
Already here. Who do you think that the God was raised into heaven for? And he had to have men who had already died, men who had already died, lived and died, and he built Yatante.
Exactly. And then on top of that, this is before the first era of civilization, before they could even travel and cross the oceans or any of that. This is the first arc cycle.
Yeah, this first arc cycle, this 72,175 years ago. You dig what I'm talking about? This the dope part of OWASP, because they tell you when shit happened and show you how to prove it without using the Gregorian calendar or without using the Justinian calendar or the Babylonian calendar. You can literally look in the sky. How did man tell time or seasons before there was a calendar? He looked in the sky and he judged the phases of the moon. Then he looked at what was objectively around him and what was going on, and he recorded at that time. And he did that in 11-year terms. But to get back to what the brother was saying, there was a Negroidal race already here in America. As a matter of fact, OWASP reveals we had the only black druk in the world. Everybody else was brown, even Africa. But America's was black.
Yo,
dark.
Motherfucking black Mongolians, them niggas was jet black, yo.
Jet black. And you got to understand they descend from a stock of what we commonly call today Denisovan, or early druk type. These people are dark brown, blue black they're the same color we are today. They produce everything from a blonde, blue-haired, a blue-eyed Negro, all the way to a blonde-haired, black-skinned, blue-eyed Negro, and everything in between. We never needed nobody. The people who we was mixing with was already in the land. Them niggas get wiped out during the time of Pan or during the Ark of Noah, and a new population of just over 3,000 people go to the 5 great land masses, not 3, not just Ham, Shem, and Yafet, but also Gautama and Yista, which correlate to Gautama and Pan. Now, them people who got off them boats, this is how you kill any talk about any ions.
What time period we talking?
Huh?
What time period are we talking? Give them a time period.
We talking 22,553 BC.
You see how we can do that? You see when we talk, we just ain't randomly speaking, nigga. We can throw that was the alley hoop. What time period? He just slam dunked the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You tell an Israelite that same question, them niggas they got to be under 4th millennium BC because that's when their creation story start. So their flood story got to be around the Middle Kingdom of Egypt. Imagine that. But go ahead.
And so this is the 17th arc cycle after the creation of man, or 51,000 years. Man has already existed on the planet. Many of the great buildings, like we see, like in Tikal and Uxmal and Tiwanaku, they were already built before the flood. Before the flood. You dig what I'm talking about? So the people, and to prove this, to prove that the stock that goes on to replace the whole planet was Negroidal, and irregardless of, first of all, you can't prove what a thing is by what color it is. Let's just get that understood. You can't prove what a thing is. You can't judge a book by its cover. This is a truthism in life. So you can't tell what a nigga look like, or what a nigga is by what a nigga look like. Because guess what? There's blonde, pale skin, blonde hair, blue-eyed Negroes. And to prove that the overall general stock, Negroidal or not, to get off that boat and repopulate the whole planet is the fact that every race in the world produces an albino. Every single race, it don't matter who you say they is, they all produce an albino. Why that is because your earliest ancestor did. How can we prove that? Because your earliest ancestor had to be a albino type, irregardless of being phenotypically Negroidal, because the OCA2 receptor that produces the color of skin is a that produces the albino type of skin, right, is a recessive trait. But how could it be in every single population if it is recessive? Unless at a time the oldest people of the population of everybody in the world was at one point albino.
And keep
you
in
can't
mind,
get around the fact.
And keep in mind, when Asu was created, right, the first 3,000 years he was in darkness, and the last 3,000 years there was a semi-darkness.
Facts.
You know, people
Facts.
get dark in the sunshine. People get light in the night.
Facts. Facts.
We spoke on that before, but just clearing up the fact that how do you get and then if the angels interbred with primitive men, that would cause a recessive gene.
But it would also start a whole new allele, a whole new line of blood. This is where you come your Abel. You get okay. You would have the primitive Asuan or Adamite, who would be A blood. You dig what I'm talking about? Then you would have, that would be proto man. Then you would have a different one who comes during the last 3,000 years of that 6,000 years and puts a stamp on hominid physiognomy. You dig what I'm talking about? The types that they come in. And he would produce your B type. But it's not till after that 6,000 years that we have, or 72,175 years ago, or 24,000 arc cycles before the 24 arc cycles before the Ark of Cosmos, with a whole Gadol, literally 3 Gadol degrees. 72,000 years. That's 3 24,000 year periods till we get to the first nigga who could think. Abel, man with spiritual ability, hence Abel. Right? He pops out of nowhere, and then he comes from a C allele that we don't find on the planet. It's in man, but where is it anywhere else? Where does it come from? Does another animal have it?
And you know what? You got albino animals too and shit.
Yeah, how? How?
It's some extraterrestrial fucking animals that came down and interbred with the fucking human animal, the earthly animals and shit.
But what I'm saying is, why not? And it's not far-fetched. Our ancestors have always told us that the beasts talk to them. Whether in a dream state or in mythic state, you dig what I'm talking about, or wide awoke. They said the animals talk. Hey,
you watch me say that there is an animal heaven.
Come on, man. I'm just saying there's so much more out there than we know. But see, the beauty of Owaspy is it's the only so-called spiritual book, right, that tells you who the Aboriginal of America is and what he looks like, so you can find the people today in 2023. It says that the Aboriginal American, the American Negro, the Ahuan, specifically the iron-leaning Ahuan, so the spiritually high-raised, copper-colored skinned person, he would be copper-colored, generally tall and athletic. He's going to have black, long, coarse nigger hair. The dope part about this whole thing is it becomes very simple at this point to prove who the American Indian is, because it's only one people in America that fit that description, and it ain't the so-called Native American. It's the nigger, the one who they've been changing his name 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. You've been Indians untaxed. You've been colored. You've been Negro. You've been Afro American. You've been African American. You've been black. You've been mulatto. You've been everything but a child of God. And now the whole point is for them to keep you looking over in Africa, so you never worry about what's right here up under your feet.
Exactly. The stock that was already here. And they, like you said, that's a good point, because I found that fascinating that the Owaspis had a rich history in this motherfucker about the Americas 18,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. They give you the first 18 tribes to ever pop up, and they was all Negroidal. How do we know they was Negroidal? Because the name of the country says it was the four people. Guatemala means land or the four tribes. Guatemala means the land of the four tribes. So when you mix all the major people types together, right, you get a nigga. Just like Owaspi say what you gonna get. You gonna get a brown guy.
I'm looking for that verse right now where they talk about the copper coloration and the cycle of Thor.
Yeah, actually I think it's in the first book of God. First book of God. I think look at 28. 24, 28. You dig what I'm talking about? First book of God, I believe it is in the time of Simpti Armage. Because remember, they told Iwata that 400 years before. See, this the dope part about Owaspi. It tell you when shit about to happen. Exactly. He told Iwata during 3953 BC, beginning of the 23rd arc cycle, when Iwata, the American prophet, was walking around the Americas, gathering the tribes up together after the ravages of Ahura Mazda here in America, or what we call, or who we call, or the natives and indigenous call Atura. Mm-hmm. Also across the seas known as Ahura Mazda. Now, he told Iwata 6,000 years before this shit was gonna happen that when I bring these other people here who gonna have another bloody god, another false bloody god, right? And so we know that when the English, and I mean not the English, but the Portuguese and the Spanish, Cristobal Colombo and all these boys got over here, they was for under the vicars of Christ or the papal bulls. And that God is directly of the Catholic Church, Luamang, aka Lucifer. Both of them meaning the light bearer and the light bringer. You dig what I'm talking about, to prove which God he was talking about 6,000 years ago. He said, you're gonna find my people flayed and an enslaved people. You dig what I'm talking about? They're going to go through the ravages of Christianity being oppressed upon them. It's only one people that happened to in America.
Exactly.
And then he said it's gonna be 400 years. This is gonna go on for 400 years previous to 1848. So in 1448 it would have been, right? What do we
Right.
got coming? What do we got coming right then in 1447? Anybody ever heard of dumb diverses? The Catholic Church said that if you wasn't with the Catholics, we can enslave you, kill you, do whatever you want to, and God is gonna forgive you. This is dumb diverses. Now, a generation and an old psychic cycle later, who we find in America? Columbus, right on time. Right on time. He right on time. Do you feel what I'm talking about?
Facts.
So 400 years from this time, 1848, we go. What happens? The Mexican-American War. You dig what I'm talking about? They used to call Mexico Mauritania, or the land of the blacks, because many of us, after these cataclysms, went back south. Y'all got to understand what was going on between 1000 and 1400 AD. How many of y'all know? Throw me a 1 in the chat if you knew we were in an ice age in between 1000 and 1400, or what Owaspy breaks down to as roughly 1050 to 1450 BC AD. How many of y'all knew we was in a mini ice age? So it makes sense that your people got all this land and these people was coming in through the north. This is how they was getting here. They was island hopping.
Facts.
It was island hopping. You can't go against the North Atlantic Gyre. You got to go all the way down to Africa and then launch from the west side of Africa to land in the Caribbean. And the further you go down into Africa, the South American Gyre spits you out at different points of South America. But to get to the Caribbean, you have to leave from what is called the Slave Coast or the Gold Coast. It's only one way to do it. You dig what I'm talking about? So especially with boats at these times, but they don't never explain to us we was in a
Let me ask you this: if a man was created in North, Central, or South America, where you think he was created at?
Well, originally
on this side, none, nowhere else but just the Americas now.
Originally,
Asutan.
Asutan everywhere. He was all South America, in Mesoamerica, in North America, which includes Canada. We got a white people that descend from America. They didn't last long because they interbred. But you got
I can't wait till the day we actually sit in the ship and watch that shit happen. Actually watch the process of a human being being created by the creator, in the time of Simu. That's going to be an amazing sight right there. Yeah.
You dig what I'm talking about? And then what they going to really learn is, I'm about to start coining all this stuff, bro. Copyright and all this stuff. Like, because they don't understand that man can't exist out of the time when he's supposed to. He has a perfect time to exist on the planet. You know what I mean?
Right. And see, that's what a lot of these niggas who study the races of men don't consider. They be going back these millions of years, but they don't consider these breaking points that the earth goes to where nigga, everything on the planet become extinct, and then the process of creating starts all over. Them niggas don't even comprehend that at all.
Well, you know, for the most part, they just regurgitate what they've been taught in school. You dig what I'm talking about? They don't have an actual thought of their own. And because Big Bang doesn't explain that to them, nor does Big Bang explain how creation creates, you dig what I'm talking about, other than somehow expanding gases are now condensing. You don't never explain how the condensing happens. So no, they don't have an idea that this even happens. You dig what I'm talking about? They ain't even got a clue.
And then the crazy thing is, nature is right in front of us and shows you the example of the winter season when the earth is dead, nothing generates. And then when spring rolls around, out of nowhere, life comes out of nowhere. Where the fuck? It be dead winter, grass, everything dead, flowers gone. And then when it start getting warm in spring, this shit just come out. Even fucking bees and shit. Where the fuck these bees was when it was goddamn 30 below zero and shit? Where the fuck them bees was at? Them niggas, what, hiding somewhere? Nah. These niggas is being created out of fucking thing. Spring is creation every time.
Every time.
Being created. Where the fuck this, what they call you, the lightning bug? Where that nigga at when it's fucking 30, when it's 10 below or 30 degrees freezing? Where the lightning bug at?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, he just pop up out the ground. He just pop up. He pop up.
Yeah.
As soon as it warm up, he pop up.
Saying that to say that if they understood that humans were created, inhabited, and extinct, then they could measure these gaps better, because you can't sit there and tell me, nigga, Lucy 2 million years old and this is a straight line from Lucy to us. No. There's not an apple tree in nature that's just a straight line every year, just bearing fruit all throughout the year. No, that shit gonna go through its bearing season.
Right.
Desolate season where nothing, the tree fucking dead. The next thing that shit come back. And
the tree every year produces a new fruit.
Not the fruit of old.
It's not the same fruit from 2 years ago.
Exactly.
It's a whole different version.
So technically, we could put 5 apple trees. I mean, not apple trees. 5 apples on the table. Each apple could be from a previous year, but you would think that these apples was collected at the same time. And then when you get to the seed of the apple, which is the DNA, you line in the DNA of the apple right then and there, with not knowing there was breaks within the DNA of these apples before when it was produced. But you can't pick that up on your DNA.
And they never take into a. First of all, this is what they got to understand.
Go ahead.
You can't have animal life of any type on the planet before there is oxygen. You can have plant life, I mean, in massive abundance. You dig what I'm talking about? This is why trees were so big anciently, and plants and all that stuff was so big anciently, because the destroying gas is what kills man, feeds plants. And what they're gonna find out and correlate is that the entrance of oxygen into our atmosphere happened at the Cambrian, or what is called the Precambrian time, or the Precambrian explosion. But Owaspy, through the timetables of prophecy, reveals, right, that time is only roughly 96,000 years ago, not even 100,000 years. The Precambrian explosion, 24,000 years before the birth of man on the planet. Or you could just say 144,000 years before the birth of man on the planet, or 212,000 years ago, roughly. You dig what I'm talking about? That would have been the time of the beginning of creation per the biblical tale. Only 200,000 years ago. That's what Owaspy allows you to do. And then we look at, from that time, if you go 72,000 years, right, 24,000 years before that end of that 72,000 years, we have what? An explosion of life on the planet. That is the pre-Cambrian. It was only 96,000 years ago. So that means man and dinosaur were only made 18,000 years apart. Man lived on the earth with dinosaurs. And the entrance of oxygen into that green world cleared the air with Simu. Simu is corporeal substance condensed with life, oxygen, heat, water, everything it takes to breathe life, plus the initial creation itself. There is no seed. There is no seed. Right?
That's
Initially
crazy,
for man and plants. When you look at let's say pond scum and you look at it under a microscope, you don't see a small infinitesimal seed. You see a small replicate of
forest.
Yes, a whole tree, a conifer, or whatever it is, an everlast.
I had pulled that up on my when I broke down the cosmology of creation. I'm gonna pull it up. Go ahead. We're gonna talk about that. We're producing without seed. Yeah.
They have a theory that science has put forth called the theory of panspermia. Funny that it's called panspermia. You know what I mean? Which means sperm everywhere or life everywhere. Well, it's funny. Owaspi details that specifically as Simu, galactic semen. You know, a place of life. Right. You know what I mean? And in this place is massive amounts of oxygen. Life, the shit that, you know, broke down to its chemical basis of what life is. You know what I mean? All scattered with heat. And depending on, and then it has the different entities all caught up in infinitesimal, or what you would call spermicidal, or, you know, microscopic levels of existence in like a gelatin. And imagine this shit higher than the clouds.
Yeah, because it said that Simu is commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance.
Mm-hmm.
Commingled atmosphere. Coming back to what you're saying. That gelatin-like substance.
Yeah, and depending on so in this seed or infinitesimal being, this infinitesimal, let's say it's a bear, right? Let's say it's a bear. This is how Jaja do. The crazy part is if the bear lands on ground, it turns into what we commonly know as a bear. But if it lands,
I'm gonna let you add on. But when you said the Simu and how it's high in the atmosphere, I just pulled up the joint to coincide what you're saying. Like as that example right here. That's what I just read. Covered commingled. Hold on, let me read it from the. I'm gonna let you build. The green scum that says when the earth and shores by the waters, and the waters also were covered over with commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance. So I just pulled up some examples of how it would have been looking when man was created. The commingled atmosphere.
Yeah.
Coming back to what you were saying, that sperm, that Simu. This is like the abundance of Simu.
Simu, for anybody who want to get a reference on Simu is galactic semen.
See, look,
galactically,
it's Simu.
Right. This impregnates planets. This is why the earth conceives life. She is receptive in these Simuan times. During these Simuan times, the vegetable, the serpentine, animal, and man life are added to the planet.
Right.
You
Jaja
dig
said,
what?
quicken the semen into life.
Yup. You dig what I'm talking about? And so let's say there's an infinitesimal ionic bear, right? And where it lands, when it lands on land, it turns into what we commonly know as a bear. But when that same semu of a bear lands in the water, it turns into what we would understand as a water bear. If that same bear turns into a form in the air, it will be what we would understand as a sky bear. You dig what I'm talking about? Or a bird. You dig what I'm talking about? So they have cats of different kinds. They have canines of different kinds. They have horses of different kind, and everything brings forth after itself. So when they ask you the question, which came first, the chicken or the egg, the chicken came. You got to have chickens to lay eggs. So the chicken always came first, whole, just like man. Man was in his infantile stage in ability and spirituality, but he came out the first. Niggas was full grown niggas, pairs, dumb as babies, crawling, didn't know what they was, who they was.
That was the Google Gaga language.
That's why when he impressed them to name the creator, the nigga said, like a baby would.
Now check this, right? Look what it say here. Out of Semu, I made man. Now coming back to this, what is Semu? When the earth and the shores by the waters also were covered with commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance, this substance was called Semu. So look, it's telling you that Semu is commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance in which man was created. Man is a product of commingled atmosphere and corporeal substance, and this is the visual of how it would have looked at that time. Commingled atmosphere and corporeal substances, like the God was saying here just now. Like you remember when you said, Cosmon, it goes high up to the sky. Look at this. This is a city right here.
Yeah.
Look how the clouds is covering all the city all the way up to the top of some of these buildings. Now just imagine this was the atmosphere during the time of Semu when Asu was being created, and he was created out of this substance, quickening by the creator.
Yep.
You know what? Man had to be created in the vortex, yo.
He had to be.
Some vortexian shit going on with creator. I mean, with man creating man.
Because even man today is created how his cells divide upon conception spins vortexially. It spirals.
Fact.
That's known biology.
And
you dig what I'm talking about?
It's some movies that I done checked where they'll show some of the deities or some of the angels or some of the whatever they are, the fourth dimensional entities, they'll disappear in a vortex. They'll turn in the vortex and disappear. I've seen a couple like some of these horror films or some of these Netflix films, and I caught that shit a couple times. I'm like, yo, this nigga disappeared, but he started in a swirl first. Almost like Michael Jackson when he did when he played like the Egyptian nigga and he did the 360 and turned into gold.
Yeah. Or remember the movie they just had, Doctor Strange. Right. Remember how they the crazy part is they would do the sign of Jehovah. This is the crazy thing, and it would create a vortex, and they would walk through the vortex and go to a different spot. You dig what I'm talking about? They was creating these little portals.
Right.
You dig what I'm talking about? The crazy part is they was throwing up the first sign of the sign of Jehovah.
Right, niggas was throwing it up.
Throwing that shit up. You know what I mean? And yeah. It's dope that Owaspy gives you a way of proving what you see.
Wait. Now we piggybacking because now when we was talking earlier about the Asu, about the ions, being recessive with the skin color. Now keep in mind, this verse here says, right? Jehovah said, in the time of Simu, I brought the earth into Ajajaya, and darkness was upon the face of the earth for the space of 3,000 years. So when Asu was created, he was in literal darkness. Now this is twilight, because the second 3,000 years is the twilight. Look, and yet for other 3,000 years, half darkness covered all the land and water. This will be like half darkness. But the first 3,000 years, Asu was in darkness, my nigga. Damn near Aja, because it said Aja. What happens when Aja comes? The moon, the sun. The moon is a cola, red like a cola fire. You can see the stars in the daytime as well in the night.
Yep.
I mean, in the night as well in the day. But this was the condition that Asu was created in. The nature of the beast. Niggas ain't even see the light of day yet.
Nope. And that would have also meant that when he came forth, and many times in his hominid state, he was pale. His skin was pale. His skin was pale.
Yep.
His skin was pale, but his hair may have been brown or black or red.
But now check it. Now it's funny because I remember me and Louis was having this conversation some time back, and I brought this out because I said, if this was the condition of Asu in the beginning, black people get dark in the sunshine. Black people don't get dark in the night. White people, you turn white in the night. You turn pale in the night. We turn pale in the absence of light.
Right.
So if Asu was created in these conditions, not only he could have been pale, but he would have had fur. His hair would have been more dominant over his body because the climate would have been a little cooler.
Actually, the climate would have been warmer, so he could exist without clothes. This is why.
Well, you know what? He would have been locked in a tropical region then.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. He would have been in a climate area zone, and which
exactly.
Yeah. He would have experienced, for the most part, only 2 seasons, warm and rainy.
Right.
You dig what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
Especially in the earlier times, and then you got to understand the days were shorter too. Many of the days were shorter. The Earth
vortex was spinning
faster, and there was more oxygen on the planet. 96,000 years ago, during the Cambrian explosion, in the entrance of oxygen back onto the planet, you dig what I'm talking about? It brought forth so much light and so much heat.
And you know what? Hold on. Come into that Cambrian explosion, because let me come back up to coincide with you saying real quick, because it just hit me right here. See, that's why I like to break down this presentation. That shit is everything we talk about is right here. Coming to your Cambrian explosion right here. Let's touch on this real quick. Owaspi played 34. And it came to pass when the earth was in the midst of Taza, there fell upon the earth for a space equal 12 days condensed nebula in dust and stone and water combined sufficient in some places to cover up forests Jehovah made. And that which fell was hot like molten iron, and the trees and forests of the valleys were beaten down and covered up and burnt to blackness. You see what I'm saying? Coincide with what you say with the Cambrian era. Explosion debris hitting the earth, changing the environment. Because look what it states next. Jehovah said, and these shall remain on the earth, for in the time that follows, man shall seek the coal, not knowing whence it came. And it will bear witness of the regions of Aja and Jaya in the firmament of heaven. And these are the coal beds where we thinking this shit coming from the under the earth, not knowing this shit fell from the goddamn sky and lodged itself in these positions of the earth.
And the proof of it that it was living material at one time is that coal, gas, natural gas is created from heated and pressured living material. So what Owaspi is explaining is that the layers of coal beds, right, which are now in some places hundreds of feet below the ground, were at one point in time the surface of the land.
Right.
You dig what I'm talking about? So that could be in hundreds of feet that things were covered up. And then this has happened multiple times. to where not only cold vortexian wave is passed down onto the planet, creating what we would commonly understand as ice ages, but where heated molten nebulous, when I say nebulous, think comet. They don't understand, you know what I mean? They understand where or they can track the path of comets, but asteroids and all that shit, they don't know where they come from. You know what I mean? And they come from, the crazy part is Owaspy review, they come from inside Earth's atmosphere. This is why they never can predict where they never seen the Tunguska explosion. They didn't know it was coming. They only found out after it exploded. They never seen it. They didn't know it even happened.
It's just interesting how Owaspy talk about these atmospheric cycles that, you know what I mean, the Earth goes through that we know you'll never know. You know what I'm saying? It's like these hidden histories, these mysteries. Now, these are the mysteries of heaven. You know, when they talk about the mysteries of heaven, these are the mysteries of heaven.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
When we say heaven, the mysteries of how things in the atmosphere, like the same way we get snow, hail. But the Owaspy talks about there's a time when molten lava-like material, meteorite-like material comes down in abundance. You know, we don't experience it now, but there's a time period in history where these things actually happen.
And not only that, you gotta understand what's going on. This is asteroid material, the same stuff that the Earth is made of. So it's lead, it's gold, it's copper, it's rock, it's granite, it's limestone, sandstone. All that stuff falls to the Earth. But take this in account, that when that substance is put into motion, right, and then rained onto the planet, you got to take into account where it's falling from. It's falling from 200, 300, 1,000 feet above the face of the planet, gaining heat and kinetic electric energy on its way down. So by the time it gets to the atmosphere, by the time it gets to about where the clouds are, before it even hits the ground, shit below it is already burning on fire. Everything is combusting before it ever hits the ground.
Hey, yo,
so people was just
that big ass that crater, ain't that crater in Mexico, New Mexico? The one with that big ass crater. That's just one.
Yo, that's just
crazy.
one. This planet, man, this planet been tore up. There was times, especially in the earlier age of the planet, which is called, they're explaining Owaspy as Lutz, where all this shit is rained on the planet, and it's hot and it's molten, and you got to understand where it's come from, and it's being pushed towards the center of the planet. So it's falling sometimes 1 to 2 times the degree of a volcano. I'm talking about heat wise. And then it's
verse right here where we talk about Lutz. Come on. No, go ahead. I just found that because I got it in this presentation. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this stuff is falling on the planet. So imagine miles deep of hot molten lava.
So look what it say, right? Adding on to what you're saying. There is still another period to all corporeal worlds, Lux, which you was referring to. In the time of Lux, there fall on a planet condensed earthly substance, such as clay, stones, ashes, disseminated molten metal, and so on, in such great quantity that it can be compared to a snowstorm, piling up corporeal substance on the earth in places to a depth of many feet, and then drifts up to hundreds of feet. And it's just an example, just showing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, now imagine that falling 100 feet deep over the whole United States. You see what I'm saying? Molten lava 100 feet deep, falling over an area, not only just to strike one part of the, falling over the total northern part of the of America.
Like it's passing over.
Yeah, like rain, like snow.
Right, like a snowstorm. You know how like they got them El Niños and they start from the west coast and come on over to the east coast?
Yeah, it's falling while the planet is spinning.
But look what the verse finish off to say. Verse 4, Lutz was called Uz by some ancient prophets because it was a time of destruction. If Lutz follows suit after a Simuan period, when the portion of the earth were covered with Simu and rank vegetables, it charted them, penetrating and covering them up. Most of the coil beds and oil beds in the earth were made this way.
Exactly.
This is why I say these are the mysteries of heaven, because we're searching for things under the earth where we're thinking this shit coming from the earth when this shit came out of the sky.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
You know what I mean? And this is why they can't figure out why deserts are made. This is why they can't figure out how sedimentary rocks are made.
And look what it says.
Because,
and I'm gonna let you have it. Lutz belong more to an earlier age of a planet. That's why it's not happening now, family. When its vortex is more extended. And when the nebula clouds in its outer belt are subject to condensing. You know why? Because through the extension, the atmosphere comes down. And it's easier, it's more debris falling to the earth. That's interesting. So as terrain on earth, these corporeal substances. So the Owaspi showed you, like,
and if you go back, if you go back up a little bit, if you go back, go back up to the other one. I think it's right above that when it's talking about Lutz.
You talking about the picture or the verse?
The verse where it's talking about
yeah, right here.
Right? Oh, right there. What y'all need to understand is look what's falling on the planet, such as clay, stones, ashes, and look, disseminated molten metals, gold, iridium,
copper,
cobalt, nickel. This is falling on the planet molten hot from 300,000, 250,000 miles an hour, jetting back down into our atmosphere. How hot is this?
You know, we got to add the Book of Divinity precept to that when it talks about how Ajah surcharged in the atmosphere and is sent back.
Yeah. You dig what I'm talking about? So it hit the ground like a bomb.
Big fat.
Woo! And it literally fried everything. But what it also did was apply pressure and sealed in everything that was living and burning and charred up under it to create what we call coal beds, oil fields. And this is why you find the biggest oil fields in deserts. And this is also why you find out, if you go back, that every desert, every single one, the Gobi, the one in eastern Hindustan, the Sahara, the Middle East, the Death Valley, all of it was at one time a very lush place with massive amounts of water. You dig what I'm talking about? So what creates the oil, living material being charred, burned, and pressurized? It must stay up under pressure to create. Don't it say pressure creates diamonds, turns coal into diamonds?
Facts.
Well, living pressure on trees, living material creates coal. In coal, diamonds are found. You see what I'm saying? So it's varying amounts of pressure and chemical happenings and interchanges with each other that create certain materials also after impact. Because depending on if that heated material lands on water or on land, it'll do a different thing.
Check this, Ron. To add on, look at this. Look how we add precept upon precept. Nigga, quick, fast. Look at this. Book of Divinity 15:9. The Creator also created things created this possibility for the earth and the heavens above the earth. A season, hundreds of years for the earth to give off its substance, which flies outward, and for hundreds of years, a season for the earth to receive an additional of substance from the atmosphere, surcharged from the regions far away. And when it is thus received, it is called the time of Ajah, because that which falleth condenses. Look here. Well, you know what? This is going to the nature of the drudges during the time of Ajah. It talks what comes with Ajah.
But this is why your scientists can't tell you how the pyramids were buried. They can't tell you. They can't tell you how the great city, Trojan city was buried. They can't tell you how Göbekli Tepe was burned and buried. They can't tell you how the great Delphi or the great city of Ramesses or Timbuktu were all burned and buried. Because you can't necessarily see the condensing, falling. Ajah just seems as if the building is sinking when in fact material grows up around it and literally falls to the earth to consume it. You dig what I'm talking about? Now you got to think about this. In the 1200s, when the Arabs was going back into Egypt, one of the Arab sultanates was trying to destroy the pyramids. He was shooting bombs and lighting dynamite, and he seen the futility of it. Really, you dig what I'm talking about? It's too massive. It's too big. He couldn't destroy it, right? But he did what he did to it. Now that's around the year 1206 A.D. Napoleon, around 1800s or the end of the 1700s, 1798 to 1800, finds or refines the Sphinx, right? And he finds the Sphinx. He never did even see the pyramids at first because they were covered. What happened in between 1200 and 1800 that could bury pyramids that were obviously seen?
Niggas gonna say, "Oh, the sand over time blew it and buried it."
What?
I heard
all that sand?
I heard them use that before.
Ain't that much sand in the damn desert?
That must have been their false god blowing away, boy.
You dig what I'm talking about? They don't even know that that's a sign of their false god dying.
But they don't even know the fact that shit is falling from the atmosphere and residue of this bitch is on the planet and we don't fucking know it.
Yep. And affecting you. And it affect your babies in the womb. It determines if they're going to be big or larger. You dig what I'm talking about? This is why you got to have positive vibes around your women, because the vibe, the vortexian current, affects the child directly. Directly. So the women, this is why we say, you know, especially the faithist woman is probably the most important person on the planet, because she is going to build the new nation. She going to literally shape these new niggas. And I mean, they going to be something different.
But we got to get the hell out of ooze, man, because these
got to get up out of here. All in due time. All in due time. You know what I mean?
You already know.
We just starting. You know what I mean? We just starting. And but we didn't came way farther. Look, compare just in the year of the existence of the Creator Gang, how far and what we've come to done to the 30 years that my brother Sarnetta has put in. We didn't did more good for people in that time than in 30 years. There is no African institution to help nobody. You know what I mean? These is new school shits. You dig what I'm talking about? That may have came up afterwards out of the thing, but ain't no Pan-African, I'ma just do this. You know what I mean? To help the people as a whole. So
right. But this is the advantage point of the Owaspi, because it gives you a practical principle that every culture on the planet stood on. Serve your brethren in likeness of yourself. Do good unto others. That's the foundational thing for you to get to Etheria in the Owaspi. There is no resurrection without the service done unto others. You don't have to be no Pan-African. You don't have to be no Hebrew Israelite. You don't have to be no Muslim. You don't have to be nothing to do that shit.
None of that's going to make it to the higher heavens. No way. None of it.
They just gonna the duration time for them is gonna be a little longer. They're gonna get there, but it's just that, you know, when certain information comes to give you that upgrade, some niggas get blinded by how it came about, who wrote it. When you got the message for your deliberation, your redemption, your freedom, and your purpose and destiny is right here in some pages. This shit ain't telling you to worship the book. This shit is telling you to go out there and serve others in righteousness. Now, you don't need the book to know that, but this is just a guidebook. It's like if we had to go to California, if we had to go to New York. Now, we could go off our senses, our intuition, and feel we may be going the right way, and possibly we may be or maybe not. But if we got a roadmap, that's a guarantee. It ain't no ifs and buts about it. The Owaspi is a practical guidebook because it tells you what you need to do to serve Creator, and it's simple. Serve your brother as you serve yourself. Do good works unto others and purify yourself in the process. Eat the holy, you know what I mean?
And to piggyback on what you saying, it said the same thing right on the cover. It is a practical guidebook,
right? Fact.
To the spiritual advancement of singular people and groups and the humanity as a whole. You dig what I'm talking about? So he got Jaja, the father of all, ain't just coming to one people. You know what I mean? And they get stuck on that, you know, the chosen thing, you know what I mean, without actually choosing the creator. But they choose what the best they know. So I don't in the end of the day, I don't it's gonna be held against them because they bound to what they praise. You know what I mean? And it's not the creator. But they're gonna have to find that out on their own.
Case in point, you know what I mean? We planting the seeds for these niggas, and they see what's going. It's just like when the false gods start to realize that the God who they follow is an imposter, and then true God sends some messages throughout the false God's heavenly kingdom, like, yo, you know what I mean? If you want to fall back over here, you can. And some of them, the high grades of the false gods, will leave and go with true God messages. Back to true God.
I thought that was dope. You dig what I'm talking about? I think that's the Book of Forgotten, where you know, where the false gods is going crazy at a certain time, and Jaja is sending them troops into the false gods' heaven, talking about come to the emancipated heavens of your father. You know what I mean? Be your own master. And be your own God.
And on top of that, he said, "Yo, don't disturb they shit. Let them do what they do, but just come with this message."
Yep, come on, it's higher heavens. You think this God is something? Look at this God. Exactly. He got a heaven and an earth. This guy got 3 million heavens and earths. Y'all better go look at Theotisi. You dig what I'm talking about? I think that's
overkill right there.
That's overkill. You dig what I'm talking about? And I think the dope part about Owaspi is it lets you know that the highest deity to ever touch this planet was a female. It don't hold no qualms about it. You know what I mean?
The highest ranking angels throughout Etheria, throughout Atmospheria is females, yo. Female. The highest, when you get to the highest, the top tiers.
Most of them.
Even when Sathantis got crowned, it was old girl and her brother.
Etisaya. They sent Etisaya and her brother. But did this. She was higher ranked than her brother. She said, and did this. A woman set true God in his seat. So that means to sit true God in his seat, to make a king, right? You must have more authority than the king. Who the hell got more authority than God?
And not only that, Sathantis was a bad motherfucker.
He was bad. So, but that means Etisaya was badder.
Case in point.
Etisaya was badder. She said that she gave him his crown.
The first God of this heaven and earth was crowned by your female. What the fuck these niggas talking about, son?
What is they talking about? What are y'all talking about?
Y'all want to talk about the drunks and the motherfucking drunks being brown and black when you got a motherfucking female crowning the first God of this motherfucker. What these niggas talking about?
That hold on. She ain't even from Earth. And she's a human. This a woman. She ain't even from Earth.
Sedantes ain't even from none of these niggas is from. The only niggas from here is Asu at that time.
Listen, Sedantes was on vacation.
The nigga came with a host of motherfucking what 4 million angels. Now think about it.
No. He let out, what was it? It was 24 million angels for the very first men to be created, right? Or 24 million.
It was in the millions. You say that.
It was like 24 million. An angel for every man and woman to come down with the very first gods that entered the Eve of the Adam Eve story. That interbreeded with man. You dig what I'm talking about? To create Abel, or the man with spiritual ability.
But look how the angels finessed it though. Look how they came. It ain't like these niggas just came however they looked at where they came from. These niggas took up the earth elements and formed themselves. So they didn't come in a divine bodies with the substance created from ether. These niggas said, yo, we gonna take the materials of the earth and clothe ourselves as fucking Homo sapiens.
and this is the allegorical tale of the story of the rib, a woman being taken from Adam's rib. You dig what I'm talking about? That's because the angel took from corporeal substance from the side.
Seen that, King. Go ahead.
From the side of man and woman, and took and through force of will, right? Through their will, they took upon semblances of flesh. But this is what this is what they don't understand, and this is what made Jaja tricky. Because he sent angels who were millions of years older than the earth were, but who on other planets had died as infants. They never had a physical life, a corporeal life. So he brought them here to earth. So he brought them here to earth to take upon semblances of flesh so they could learn earthly things. Now, these are super dumb, high-raised spirits, but on earth, he never had earthly experience. So this spirit who had probably ranks highest God, right, had never been cold, had never been hungry before, had never fell down and scraped his knee.
He had to start just like us.
Right. So when he took up on the semblance of flesh, understand he's 1,000,000 years older than the earth, right? So when he took up on that semblance of flesh, he had never been horny before either. So could you imagine 1,000,000 years of horny on one man? Yeah, you was fucking this beastly ass looking hominid. Yeah, you was getting it in with Adam. I bet you had never, you see, this entity had never been hungry, right? So when he took up on a semblance of flesh, he got that 1,000,000 years of hunger all at once. So they went into gluttony. They went into sexual acts. They went into shit that you learned here on earth growing up. You dig what I'm talking about? The physical earth things, they learned them after death, coming back to take upon semblances of flesh when they were supposed to be here to rise man up spiritually.
And you know what? To interject for a second, although this story is allegory as fuck, but if you ever read the Forgotten Books of Eden, when Adam and Eve got kicked out the garden, and the way they were so dumbed down, they didn't know shit. They had to be taught like from a baby as adults. The natural world, you know what I mean? The niggas seen the rising sun and thought the fireball was about to hit the planet. It's like, it shows you how mature the mind of man was in its primitive state.
Yeah, and they still got that same story in the Vedas, in the Mahabharata, about Hanuman, an early hominid type of man that he's seen the sun for the first time, and he literally jumped in the air and went and grabbed the sun. So you see what I'm saying? It's that same sort of childlike infancy,
right,
or unknowingness found in Hanuman, or the hominid of Shem, the druk of Shem. You dig what I'm talking about? Found in the stories of Adam. I thought that was one part about them out of Eden stories. Was
Ron
that
Joker said that's the Puranas?
The Puranas. Okay, yeah. I thought it was the Vedas. It's the Puranas.
Book of Ramayana.
Yep.
You know, Bron Joker be knowing that shit. He the East Indian philosopher.
Yeah, but I knew. But if you know, we in the same thing. Good looking, bro.
Yeah. You know how that shit go.
Yeah. And you know, he just keeping his brother on point.
But see, that's good. See, the niggas in the critic gang is adept in certain areas. So you know.
Yeah, well, this is all for elevation of the. Yeah, oh, my bad, bro.
No. Go ahead. I just said that's just picking up the points.
No, I was saying, yeah. This is for the edification of the whole. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To advance it all, and always keeping your brother on point is one way to do that. You did what I'm talking about. That's the whole idea, that an all-seeing eye is watching you. So you would do your best, or be real, when ain't nobody looking, and it ain't no benefit to yourself. You dig what I'm talking about? This is why it's dope being an objective spiritualist or faithist, because really, by title, we are the realest in the world. We are objective spiritualists. We go by what can be proven objectively.
Exactly.
Even the spirit. You dig what I'm talking about? Even the spirit. And I think it's funny that in these times, they trying to separate or spirituality and science.
Because like they don't know what the hell they talk about, because spirituality is the study of unseen things. So that brings you into the vibrational frequency, which is the electromagnetic spectrum. The key three principal things in creation that you cannot escape, whether if you're dealing with science, whatever you're dealing with, archaeology, is going to always revert back to these three things. The electromagnetic spectrum, which is the vibrational frequencies of everything in creation, seen and unseen. The periodic table of elements, which is the physical makeup of creation, seen and unseen. And the pH scale, which determines life and death, the balance, the ma'at. The pH scale in 7 is where life is neutral. Alkaline is 7. So those are the three principal things in creation. So whatever, if we talk about spirit, that means we talk about the electromagnetic spectrum, things seen and unseen. Spirit means air. Air is invisible, but it can be detected. It can be measured.
And it's not. And I like how it takes away all the spookiness.
Case in point. You
see what I'm saying?
Like you said, they try to separate science and spirituality, when if you understand the two, it's one and the same, because you can't separate creator. Everything is departments of creator. You just got to understand and figure it out.
Hey, give me a second, Selah. It started raining, man. My damn windows is down.
All right, King.
All right, one second. Hey.
Yes, family, give us a 1 in the chat if y'all enjoying these vibes. Let's run the rhythm. It's a Clot vibe. It's a vibes. Yes, family, large up yourself, big up yourself. Your host, select the Selah on the one and two. You know how we do. It's a vibes.
It's a vibe.
Yes, my brother, where's the big man?
do a big man thing. You see me?
Cause man know them roll a slip a thing.
A big fat slipper thing, me blow on the finest of the earth. The highest grade.
Fire on a blood clot. You don't know.
A burning marijuana on the corner. It makes me smarter, it makes me calmer.
You don't know. Greater gang gang. Junior gang gang. I see the ones coming in, no doubt. Y'all enjoying the vibes. Yes.
Shout to the Creator Gang, man. Shout to the Creator Gang.
Always, man. Creator undefeated, you know what I mean? And the beautiful thing is that every time we talk about Creator, we could always start with the essence of Creator. So, you know how when you hear people talk about God, it's like it's different every time. It's a different concept. It's a different nigga. We'll never be caught out there saying something different. Everybody who's a practitioner of Owaspy is going to give you the same exact answer. If you
same exact story.
If you ask anybody who's part of Creator Gang, ask them who is God, they're going to tell you exactly who God is.
Hey,
watch this. Yo, Cosmo, who is God?
A spirit in heaven who has a throne, who is believed by people in darkness to be the veritable creator.
Now, who's true God?
True God is a one-time living, breathing man, no different than what we will be in time to come.
See? Rightful ruler of heaven and earth. Rightfully inaugurated and installed crowning king. The same way we see the inauguration going on, and we like, yo, that's the president, because we see the inauguration. That's what true God is. The nigga who gets inaugurated in the kingdom. And every time there's a succession, the next God gets inaugurated the same way with the same everybody around, all this shit going on. It's the same thing, the inauguration of the gods like that. Now the false gods, they duplicate and mimic that which true God do. So when the false gods set up their heavenly kingdoms, they imitate that which true God do. So in your Bible, when it talks about God and you sitting on the right hand of God, that's a false God mimicking the ways of true God, because true God is going to always to let you know that Jah is creator, but false gods are going to let you know that service of self is who you're going to be worshiping, which is that God, Satan.
Facts. You know what I mean? And facts. And people got to understand that God is a job. It is the rank.
Facts. You said it. God is a
God
job.
is a job. It is a rank. It is a title that is earned by an angel in service to Creator. You get to 12th grade, you graduate, right, and go on to the higher heavens. You become a university student. You dig what I'm talking about? You leave the regular student K through 12. You dig what I'm talking about, and graduate to a bachelor. You dig what I'm talking about? That would be your Lord. And then you graduate from the bachelor. You dig what I'm talking about, and then you get a MD. That's your Lord God. It's a rank. It's a title. It's earned by knowledge. And then you would go on to get your doctorate or your PhD, right? And it gives you the ability to be at the level you at, but also deal with ranks lower than you. The MBA and the BA. It allows you to teach them. So it's the same thing with heavenly ranks of spirits. You get to a certain level, you earn a certain badge, like a job, a position, and then you master that position, and then you move on to the next. God is just one of those positions on the way of infinity, because it never stops. Understand that there are 1 trillion angels higher than your current goddess today.
Or how about there are innumerous? You can even put a number on that shit.
You can't even number it. You can't even number how many true gods that run planets and whole galaxies and whole multiverses. I mean, well, it's not no multiple universes, only one universe. But but different parts of the galaxy. You dig what I'm talking about? They have billions and billions of worlds with life on them, and they run all of them, and they got lords and gods up under them.
Jehovah said, yo, for each and every world, there's a God in an organic heaven ruling over it. I'm like, nigga. When you look
Psalms
at
82
stars,
speaking.
no,
Psalms
say it. Go ahead. Psalms 82 what?
It speak on God ruling in the divine council of the angels. In Psalms 82, it tell you who this nigga who looked like a man is.
And then how can he be creator in the congregation?
How could creator be anywhere except everywhere?
In the congregation, I mean, he got to be in a building or something.
Yeah, that means this is the same nigga who's sitting in a chair.
And
if he's sitting in a chair, that means he got an ass. Yo, God got an ass? That's a problem. The creator got an ass? He scratches booty because if he got an ass, that means he shit. The creator shits. So no, it says who it is in this thing. It's the Lord. It's the Lord God. It's God. What they not understanding is God is just a one-time man. No more than what you gonna be in the future. They have an old saying that is a truthism. People need to study this. It says, as men, as gods as men. How if we're not the same thing? It's the same conundrum Jesus puts you in when he tells you, ye are also gods, and the things that I do, you can do better than me.
And that shit was so vague.
Right. How? The question is how? If we not the same, if we must be then the same thing. That would give me light to know that I can attain to this status.
But notice this. Both angels and gods in the Bible appeared as men. Jacob wrestled with the angel.
Wait a minute, but that was the Lord. It also said it was the Lord in there. He whooped the Lord ass.
He seen God face to face, and he called the place Peniel. But nonetheless, he's a man.
This is a man. He said he looked over and he seen the man and he had a sword, so he grabbed the nigga. They get to tussling. You dig what I'm talking about? They tussling all night. Joseph put them nuts on that nigga. You dig what I'm talking about? Threw him in the dope fiend real quick. God like, uncle. God get to tap it. You dig what I'm talking about? God, after he got to do choking that nigga, he said, hey, you ain't gonna never let nobody tell you whooped my ass. I'm gonna change your name to Israel. ain't nobody gonna know Joseph Joseph whooped my ass. You dig what I'm talking about? Jacob. Ain't nobody gonna know Jacob whooped my ass. I'm changing your name to Israel, nigga. They ain't gonna never find you.
Look at that. Like, niggas can't explain the significance of that. You know, niggas is getting hype over the whole Israelite thing, but look how the name came about. You niggas don't even understand that shit. Jacob wrestling with the angel. What is the purpose? What is the point?
But it's not
that
just an angel.
No fucking sense. But when you understand the WASP and realize that an Israelite is the Oralite, and the Oralite is ministered through angel communion, now we can work with something here. Because Jacob could be getting initiated in the oral tradition, and now his name is, or he's an Oralite now. Because that could have been an initiation, although, you know, it's fuckery, but that could have been an initiation or in a temple, the communicating with angels. Nonetheless, although he wrestling and, you know, we cracking jokes, but nonetheless, he's dealing with an angel. Well, you exactly on point with that, because the very first level or initiation that is passed, once you become an initiate of the mystery schools, especially those found in Egypt, right, which were founded by faithists. We got to get that understood. The mystery schools of Egypt were founded by the faithists.
After you pass level 1, just level 1, you become Israel or Iszer, appraiser of the Great Spirit or acknowledger of the Great Spirit. That is just the what an initiate after passing the very first level of the school of adeptship is called. That's the very first title of so-called masonry. You dig what I'm talking about? And this is the mixed up stuff that you dig what I'm talking about. It's so twisted now. You know what I mean?
And see, the crazy thing is this, yo. Jacob was given the name Israel in the land of Canaan, while the actual initiation of an Oralite was in Egypt. Now, we don't necessarily know like where we're at in Egypt in a sense, but it just, the Owaspy just lets you know that these mystery schools in Egypt, the third degree of Anubis is what an Israelite is. That's the oral initiation to what it becomes to become a faith. It's the order Amita Shavet, the order of faith.
Yeah, that's the Amita Shavat. You dig what I'm talking about? This is what Abram was practicing. This is what Moses was practicing in the oral tradition, in the oral law. Because you got to understand, the real Israelites never had a written book.
That's the
they never needed a book to teach an Israelite how to be an Israelite.
And check it. And that's the crazy thing, because the Bible is really the book of the Leviticus. Right. And the Leviticus laws is what these niggas is following. The priesthood is Leviticus based. Now they trying to say like, Judah and the priesthood, but nah, nigga, we going by what the book say. The priesthood was established with Moses and Aaron. And them niggas was given the Leviticus priests for the strangers, for the mixed multitude. Yeah. Those were the niggas over there bringing them sin offerings to the goddamn, the priests of Aaron, sacrificing them goat heads. But like you said, the Oralites had no involvement in that. You don't even have a history of these niggas because it's not documented.
Nope.
The only time it's documented is like you hear like Philo when he talk about the Essayans in the 1st century, but look how long that is from the time of Moshe in the Middle Kingdom.
Yeah, that's 1,500 years right there. You did one
400-year period in the Owaspy where talk about the Israelites that had no written law for 400 years.
That's before the time of Ezra. Ezra was born about 1530 during the time of Darius.
Right, that's 5th century. We're talking 15th century BC. The Exodus is 1446. Right. So 1446, 400 years, around 1146 BC. We're talking that 400. There's no history. That's why the Israelites ain't exist. Even the Owaspy documents that there was no written account of these people when they left Egypt. They was living off the land. If the Leviticus was practicing their shit, that wasn't nothing that was written. That was something that was practiced. You could practice something and don't have it written, although it's not an oral tradition. Because they bring in goat heads in the oral tradition. These niggas is communicating with angels. They ain't spilling no blood.
Facts. And so to put it in context, right? What we're revealing with that 400 years that the law had been burnt and lost in that nation of so-called Israel, right?
Yeah.
What we're putting in the context is 200 years before Assyrian captivity, the very first, which came around 728 BC, right? Before the Persians, before the Medes, and after the Rome, before the Romans. You dig what I'm talking about and all that? You dig what I'm saying? So we're talking about 200 years before Persian captivity, right? The law had already been lost. So in the 900s, you had already lost your law through war. You dig what I'm talking about? But 200 years before that, you find the founding of Israel and the throwing off of the peace policy of the Israelites, which made these two different people. One with a book who praised the gods and the lords, who lived in the kingdom, praised kings instead of the creator, and went to war. And one people, the King Davids, the Sauls, the Jehus, the wasn't it Manasseh? Wasn't it Manasseh who sold Isaiah in half?
I think that's in the Owaski account. I don't know. I don't think that's in the
That's in the Bible too. They saw Isaiah
somebody got
in
sold
half.
in half. Yeah. Fact. Somebody got sold in half. I forget who it was.
Yeah, by a so-called Jewish king.
But that was the wicked shit that was going on in the land. See, these niggas adopted the Canaanite practices because the Canaanites. When I did the prototype of the Canaanites come from the prototype of the Levites come from Canaan, I showed in 1650 that these niggas had a holy of holies. 1650 niggas is still in Egypt. The Exodus is 1546. So if you got a temple, a holy of holies, a tabernacle in the land of Canaan already in 1650, by the time Israel migrates up in there, these niggas are over 100 years practicing the priesthood.
Facts. This is how you prove who is who. The Israelites never had a book. The Leviticans did. The true people of Moses practicing oral doctrine. The other one didn't. They had a written doctrine called the Levitican law, Torah. You dig what I'm talking about? One didn't practice, one war, one did. One praised the God, the other one didn't. You see what I'm saying? One had a king, one said there is only one king, the creator. They were two different people who went on to do two different things of two different blood lineages. You got to understand the Levitican was not even kin to the Israelitish people. They weren't the same people.
That's a mixed multitude.
This is a mixed multitude of people that came up out of Egypt with Israel, who were enslaved with Israel. You ain't gonna watch all these niggas get up and leave, and you sit there.
The Bible calls niggas the strangers.
And then you seen this nigga Moses cutting up, splitting the sea, doing the brooks of Arnon. You seen 10 plagues. You watch this nigga curse Pharaoh. You watch the first sons die, frogs and life. You watch these big ass goddamn. You watch a snake swallow, turn into a rock, swallow another snake, then turn back to her. You watched all these miracles. You was like, nah, we with Moses. Nigga, we kin to Ishmael. We kin to Ishmael. Yeah. That's us now. We don't care what you're talking about. Levitican, hanger on. Oh, we'll take that. Okay, we just gonna rock with whatever Moses is talking about. Right. Y'all give us a book. You know we can't go into the holies of holies. You know we can't do that. Now give us some Israelites that can go in there and wipe our prayers for us. And this is where you get your Levitican priesthood. But remember that the first Leviticans were Israelites. The first of the Levitical priesthood was the sons of Aaron. But are they really Israelites? Because the sons of Aaron mixed in with the daughters of Canaan.
Yeah, them niggas was all mixed up, man. That's a
they were mixed in with the daughters of Canaan. So this is where you get your Hamitic Negroidal stock. Because there was a pure Negroidal stock, what we know is Shemitic, which is what the Israelites were, which is what the Lycians were, what we know as the Shepherd Kings, this so-called Asiatic. You know, Asiatic is Negroidal, Shemitic.
All right, yo, check this. I want to read this real quick, yo. I'm gonna show how Owaski addresses what an Israelite is in this joint. Let me just and then I'm gonna let you piggyback. I'm about to throw you the alley hoop. All right, so check it. Right. Oh. Look what it say right here. It says Levi, not being eligible to a faithless wife, was inspired by the Lewis to take an iron Metasia to wife. Metasia bore him a son, Kohath, who at maturity was admitted to the order of Avah, the third degree of faithless, at which time he was circumcised and afterward called an Israelite, the name given to the faithless of Egypt. Now, the highlight in this verse right here is this right here. This is the highlight. The third degree of faithless. The third degree of faithless is what determines you being an Israelite. Now, let's read what the third degree of faithless consists of for you to be considered an Israelite. Here's the third degree. The third degree taught the dominions of God and lords, the place of their abiding, and their respective labor in heaven, and the members had to learn the name of the God or gods, Lord or lords, and the divine laws, the words of salutation, the anthems, the prayers, the praise, the position of utterance, oratory, the orders of marching, to write sacred names, the secret of begetting pure offspring, and the key to the two preceding degrees, because this is the third degree, so you got to be sufficient in the first two degrees as well. So what we're showing you here is that this is what they was being taught in the mystery schools in order to be an Israelite. This is the oral tradition. You had to know this in order to be an oralite. And who you think was teaching these niggas the praise of utterance, the prayers, the praise, the position of utterance? Who you think? It was the angel showing them this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's come back to the first degree real quick. The first degree, because that's the third degree. If you have the first, second, and third degree, you classified as an Israelite, according to right here. So all right, so check it. This is the first degree. Remember, we're dealing with oral tradition. So to be an oralite, the angels had to come to you and basically spirit communion. So this is the first degree. Anyone who desired to learn heavenly things was eligible for the degree of Anubai. The rites and ceremonies were in dark chambers, and the angels of heaven, clothed in sargos, took part in them. And the angels taught mortals, see, orally, by the voice, the mysteries of spirit communion, how to sit in circles and crescents, taught them the four dark corners and the four bright sides, taught them how to assert from what grade in heaven the spirits came, and how to keep off evil spirits, how to attract righteous spirits, taught them how to develop in Suez and Sargos, the secret of falling water, the application of lotion to the skin that would make pounding and ripplings. This is the shit, wrappings, that you was learning in the mystery schools. This was, you see the difference between learning this than cutting off a goat head and sacrificing to your God? You see the difference what the Cosmon is trying to tell you about the Leviticans is different from the Oralites or the Israelites? This is what the Israelites, the Oralites was being taught orally. While you had this going on, you had niggas up the street cutting off goat heads to their God.
And notice, what's being revealed back today is exactly what Owaspi is saying. The angelic spirit communion, we seeing that in today. The understanding of the four dark corners, the circles, the semicircle, the crescent, the bright sides, the lodge, the four dark corners of the lodge. You dig what I'm talking about? How to attract righteous spirits, how to tell. All these things are being revealed in again in the new Emet Shabbat, the new way that's updated for our times today. In Owaspi, it's the same thing being revealed. This is why we say we Israelites, because we truly followers of the Great Spirit. You dig what I'm talking about? It's just so happened that the followers of the Great Spirit in Egypt are commonly known as Israel, or the tribes of Iz and Zur. Now you got to remember, they're walking in 800 years before there was an Egypt. I mean, 800 years before there was an Egypt, period. 500 years before there was an Ugaritic.
And it's crazy because these are the degrees of Anubai. To be an Israelite, you have to fall under the degrees of a Nubite. Niggas ain't trying to hear that, but look what is being said.
Yeah.
Moses was learned in the wisdom of the Egyptians.
But what do a Nubite mean? Spirit communion.
See that, Raz? What is the position of a Nubite in the Egyptian mystery schools? The embalmer of the dead. He's dealing with spirits of the dead.
And he's the weigher of souls.
And then
Osiris,
Osiris took his position because he was the first to be the embalmer of dead. And then Osiris took his position just like in the Oaspi.
Then hold on. Then Amun-Ra come take it from Osiris. Then Achen comes and take it from Amun-Ra until Amun-Ra comes back. And then Thoth is praised for a minute under the time of the great Cushites kings. You dig what I'm talking about? They praised the Thothian character. You dig what I'm talking about? Or the fox. You know what I mean?
Cutting like a fox.
Yeah. And this is where you get the idea that Thoth was so smart from. You dig what I'm talking about? And then, but once you understand what's happening in the heavens at the time, and that Luamon, Christ, had to move out of Egypt, move his whole heavens out of Egypt, and turn it over to Buddha, so Buddha could give him a couple million slave warriors so he could go against Baal. This is where you get your Cushitic rulership that comes from the north. But the people themselves tell you they come from a northern Indian Kushite area, or Elamite type area. This is why the Meroitic language is nothing like anything else around it. Nothing. You dig what I'm talking about? What they call Nubian. You know, Nubians. Then it's people from southern Egypt, the Sudan. You dig what I'm talking about? And them niggas migrated there and mixed with the people that was already there, becoming the Meroitic kingdoms.
You remember the 10 lost tribes during the time of Osar, the first.
Yeah, that shit they taught, and then they don't even understand. That happened while especially during the time at the end of it, what was happening is the younger Dryas. No wonder them niggas got separated.
Right. Niggas
you got they got separated.
That's crazy because they formed and create their own nation, being the Persians.
Yeah. One of the niggas,
they're mixed people, yo.
Yeah, they go up there and mix with the Lycians, the Shemitic people that had walked over from India. They walked over the Himalayas into what is commonly known as Persian, Iran, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan.
The land of goats.
All the land of goats, where the most goats is in the world today. You dig what I'm talking about? Them Stanic regions, that middle region is called Persia. All of it. And in ancient times, it extended from Iran all the way to the Southeast Asian Sea, over the top in between China and India. That swath of land that would encompass Tibet and all that, all the way, Myanmar, all that shit, all the way to the Southeast Sea, that was anciently Persia, all of it. You dig what I'm talking about? And then once we look at them areas and we look at the Khmer people, we look at the ancient Buddhists and Tibetan people, them is niggas. They niggas with the Asian phenotype. That's it.
You see that? See, even the Persian icon, the ancient Persian icon, show you them copper-colored niggas over there.
And shit, the Persians go on to produce the Persians go on to produce not only the Phoenicians, but they go on to produce the genetic stock that goes on to produce is Abram.
And the Shepherd Kings. They the Shepherd Kings. They produce the Shepherd Kings too.
They produce the Shepherd Kings. Yeah. These are Persians who go into Egypt, a Hamitic people.
But see, and that's the thing, because when you come to the Book of Wars, when you come into the migration with Lutzag, they migrated from Phoenicia into Egypt and started the kingship.
These
were Phoenicians, Persians.
This is your Scorpion King. This is your pre-dynastic kingship. And I believe in Owaspy, it tells us who Narmer is. I can't prove that, but the founding of Egypt as itself comes eerily similar about 3100 to 3150 BC, as the same time as Owaspy explains the father of Hojax, Belus was his name. No, it's not Belus.
No, his name is goddamn Backs or some shit like that.
Yeah. I forget his name. I'm just drawing a blank on it for the second.
I can pull it
But
up real quick if you want.
yeah, the founder, who the Persian co-regent of Egypt. Let's put it that way. The Persian son of the ruler of Egypt abnegated and set up his own thing. At the same time, we find Narmer consolidating the two lands in Egypt, 3100 BC. Same time.
I'm pulling up the picture of the Norman palette because I'm gonna put this one up because they got the color.
Yeah, what's that name, man?
Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. I know that shit start with an O, some rack bags or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know it's I know Routsum. I know King Routsum. You dig what I'm talking about?
Yeah, some shit like that.
Routsum.
And it's funny because this is a name you would expect niggas to remember and shit because that's a standout. That's a highlight in a joint.
But dig this. There is stories of King Routsum, but it's not pronounced Routsum. Remember, this is Persian.
It was Bakal. Yeah, Bakal.
Bakal, yeah. Bakal is Narmer. Well, you dig what I'm talking about by the historical narrative.
Let me show the verse on the screen so people see what we're talking about.
Yeah. But the son of Routsum is Bakal, right?
I'm about to pull it up. Hold up.
Yeah. And he is the founder of what we call the land of Egypt.
All right, let's all right, so let's pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Right? So where we at with it? Book of Wars against Jehovah. So we're gonna start from here. This is in Hawkwood, how we pronounce it, in Persia. So now we in Persia, right? Dwelled King Luthag, a man of great wisdom and kingly power. His capital.
Hold on, bro. Before you go any further, let's start right there. In Persia, we gotta understand where Persia consists of, especially at this time. This is 4000 BC. Persia existed all the way from Assyria. You dig what I'm talking about? Up through the northern part of the Zagros, all the way into Iran, back all the way to the Alps. To the Himalayas.
And then back into Phoenicia, because he got them.
Phoenicia is connected.
Exactly.
Right, just west and south.
That's the tip. Yeah, that's the tip. That's like the meeting grounds.
Of the tip of Persia. So when we say these, you got to understand Babylon, right, was a Persian stronghold. You dig what I'm talking about? But its great city is across the Zagros in Iran. Babylon was subservient. You dig what I'm talking about to the great cities in Iran. You dig what I'm talking about? So when we say Haqqa from Persia, you got to understand it's all the way when we talk about Persia, it's all the way all the way to Turkey, from Turkey to the Himalayas. And
then you got to consider Afghanistan, Pakistan, all that. That's like bordering Shem too.
Yeah, it is Shem. Remember where the three lands meet.
You're right. Because Persia came later.
Yeah, It is the land of Shem. It is northern India.
So check it. With all that region in Persia, the capital is in Phoenicia, which is Canaan.
Well,
Right?
no. The Phoenicians are Persians who migrated
That's
to
exactly what I'm saying.
Canaan.
Exactly. So that's case in point. So with that being said, you have these Persians living in Phoenicia that's gonna migrate into what we know as Egypt.
Facts.
And then it was based off of a great drought came upon the region ruled by Lutag, and being a king of benevolence, he sent inspectors far and near to find a country of water and good soil. But Alice, they did not find what was desired. So they're looking to go somewhere because of the drought. Lutag consulted the oracles, and behold, the angel Egypt. Now, I found that quite fascinating that there was an angel actually named Egypt, and this shit comes from this nigga.
Right.
And he came and answered the king, saying, Send your seer, and I will lead him. So the king sent for him his high seer, and told him the words of the oracle. The seer said, Wherever the God touch you, permit me to touch also. Perhaps I can hear your God speak. Now check what this shit say right here. This verse. Y'all hush. The seer touched the king in the place, and at once the God spoke to him, and he heard. So it came to pass that the God led the seer into Egypt, which at that time was called South Arabia.
Facts.
The seer did not know the country, and he asked the God. The spirit said, Behold, the land of Egypt. Thus was named that land, which is to this day called Egypt. So the nigga named the land after himself. Like, you know what, my nigga? I'm gonna go ahead and take this point right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my stamp. Boom, Egypt. So now let's go to the next land. The next verse. Look what it states. We want to get to come Bakal. The seer found the land fertile and well watered, so he returned to Persia and informed the king upon. Now keep in mind, all this is before Narmer. They're giving you a history, like the God said. This is during the Nakata period.
Mm-hmm.
This is during the Nakata period and the Jimdar period in Persia, in Iraq. So the seer found the land fertile and well watered. And if you notice, during this time period, there is no war. And if you notice, during the Nakata periods, first, second, and third, there is no war. The only time you get to war is the ending of the Nakata period when Narmer comes on the scene, 31 BC, and you see the Narmer palette, it's war going on. Pre-Narmer, during the Nakata first, second, it's pottery, no signs of war, coinciding with what we were reading. The seer found the land fertile and well watered, so he returned to Persia and informed the king. Upon hearing the report, the king commanded his people to migrate to Egypt. And so in the first year, 50,000 departed. And in the second year, 100,000. And this many migrated each year afterward for many years. And a lot of people say that the Egyptians popped out of nowhere. You have historians who say that.
Mm-hmm.
Popped out of nowhere, the civilization's blam. But now check it. These things occurred in the 700th year of the reign of Darius and Uhasaj in Horeb. And in the space of 200 years more, behold, the land of Egypt was peopled over with millions of people, for the drought and famine in the nearby countries drove them here. Now here's the catcher. Now we just established that Persians just moved into Egypt. That's what we just established. Now look what it's gonna say here. All right, check this shit.
Now notice it says in the 700th year.
Go ahead.
Now that would back the time up, right? Of Luamong to roughly 3553 BC. You dig what I'm talking about? This is why we back him up to about 3500, because this is ended up going to take place about 2800. You dig what I'm talking about?
Right.
Later on succession. This happened in the 700th year. You did what I'm talking about. So when you add in all the times, that leave about 3800 BC, where the stories you'd start hearing Sumerian stories of Anu, Ugaritic, Nakata period stories about this being. You dig what I'm talking about? An or whoever, Anu. And this time, the 700th year, right, is 3100 BC. Exactly.
Exactly, coming in a whatchamacallit. So it says Luthik sent his son to govern the land of Egypt. Now keep in mind, Luthik is a Persian. He sent his son, which is a Persian, to govern the land of Egypt pre-dynastic time. And he made a tributary to the kingdom of Surats. The son's name was Haxax. And when he was old and died, he left the governmentship of Egypt to his son Bakal, who broke the alliance with Persia and established all of Egypt as an independent kingdom. This is why we say this guy Bakal, according to the Awaspi, he broke the alliance with Persia. Now, when we come here, let's go to the Narmer's Palette for a quick second. When we look at the Narmer's Palette, Narmer is at war. We just read if Bakal had to break the alignment, that means, God damn it, it's war. Because them Persians ain't gonna let that shit fly like so easily like that. Like, nah, nigga, y'all ain't breaking away, niggas, or what? So who's Narmer fighting? Who's Narmer fighting? That's the question. So literally and technically, he's fighting his own people. Because both of these niggas supposed to be Persian.
Fact.
This is a war among Persians. But that's just based off the narrative that the Awaspi is saying, because this is supposed to be the earliest depictions of an Egyptian king, and he's fighting against another. Now, I've heard some Egyptian scholars say that these are Asiatics that he's fighting against. If that is true, that's backing up what the Awaspi is saying, that because Asiatics will be considered Persians as well, because anybody coming through Levant at that time was Asiatic. That's like saying niggas from the north. Those northerners. Northerners consist of Detroit, Chicago, New York, Jersey, Baltimore. That's the north compared to, like, if we in the south, if we say northerners, it's going to consist of, goddamn it, the northeast and some of the north Midwest. You know what I'm saying? The Midwest. Because it's
I was going to add on to that fact that you should take notice of the dress and the style of the man that Narmer is fighting. He's fully Shemitic. But if you go back to this, right there, you have the double-necked dragon motif.
That's
right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 100% Persian.
Exactly.
That come out of Mesopotamia.
Big facts. And then
100%. And is if you notice, it's the breakup, but the bringing together of the two dynastic lines. You see what I'm saying? They being controlled. These are the lands being brought together.
Or that could be a symbol of goddamn Persia and Egypt.
That's what I'm saying. Being dominated now by Bakal, aka Narm.
Case in point. Because let's read the verse again, because it said what? Bakal, who broke the alliance with Persia. So this is him going through the process of breaking the alliance with Persia right here. And after he broke the alliance, what happened? What happened? All of Egypt was an independent kingdom. Bam. And then Bakal's son, Goth, succeeded him, and Goth enriched his kingdom with great cities and temples. So whatever the next pharaoh after Narmer, Ahar, Hoar, whichever one of them niggas is, and then them niggas had captives. Because I had pulled that out early back in the day. That, you know, these niggas had captives. Y'all niggas want to talk about Ma'at, nigga. Your first two pharaohs ain't follow Ma'at. Them niggas out there spilling blood. How these niggas talking about Ma'at? In place of learning and founded games and tournaments. Goth's daughter, Rebecca, so now this will be a first queen of Egypt, succeeded him and was first queen of Egypt. See that? Now we got who was the first queen of Egypt? I know before.
And it's pre-dynastic.
Yeah, case in point. So we got to find a female ruling during the Old Kingdom. A mother whose son may have been a co-regent too young to rule, but a lot of times the mother will sit on the throne for the son if he's too young. But she's the first queen of Egypt. Now, a lot of people say Hatshepsut, but before Hatshepsut was Moses' stepsister, Shobek Nefru. She said, matter of fact, she was the last pharaoh of Egypt. She was the last pharaoh of the Middle Kingdom, Shobek Nefru, and then after her, the Middle Kingdom collapsed, and the second intermediate, so they say, came. So she ran on the joint. Now look what happened next. Rebecca still further enriched the great land with cities and places of learning. Thus stood the country at the time Darius was overthrown in his heavenly kingdom. And now for 70 years, the gods Osiris, Baal, and Ashtaroth and Egypt did not have much power with mortals. Look at that. These niggas established these niggas, and the mortals said, nigga, we straight. We done figured this shit out. We good. And look, it's telling you as this enrichment is going on during this time period, Darius' heavenly kingdom is overthrown. They tell you some shit that's going on in heaven simultaneously with the time period of earth.
Yep.
Now, check this out. I'm going to let you have this, the alley-hoop. And during this short period, the shepherd kings migrated into Egypt in vast numbers. And in sympathy with these and the kindred faith were the followers of Abraham, the faithists, who migrated rapidly into Egypt. Talking about the shepherd kings. And who were them? Them Persians too.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention, right? These followers of Abraham have come in and left and came back again. We're talking about 2800 BC now. We're roughly about 300 years after the time of Bakal.
All this still the old kingdom.
All this old kingdom.
Because the middle kingdom don't start until around 2000, 1900 BC. So the old kingdom is like 28, 26, coming 28, 27, coming on down to 2000. That's the old kingdom.
It's not to the fourth.
Say it again.
It's not to the fourth dynasty. You did what I'm talking about. Did you get pyramid buildings?
Case in point, you don't get pyramids to like 2600 BC.
Yeah, you did what I'm talking about. Watch me explain that.
Yeah.
It tell you why the buildings and why the light was high at a certain time of perfect for man to be building, and it explains that man at that time was at the peak. He was at the peak of his physical capabilities. He was at the time of the halfway point of the existence of man on the planet. You dig what I'm talking about? And during that time, the great pyramids, the great buildings of men happened. You dig what I'm talking about? And then look, the crazy part is, watch me explain what we seeing in the historical record. We see Anu and all these Enlil, Ei, all these Marduk, all these niggas praised, and then poof, Osiris, Baal, Ashtaroth, poof. You dig what I'm talking about? Then it's more gods, and you see what I'm saying? Doing the same thing that the other ones did, and then poof, they disappear. Then we get a new version of Zeus, a new version of Jove, a new version of Odin. You see what I'm saying? These names have been usurped by falling deities over and over and over and played on man. You know what I mean? Taught back to us through religion and dogma.
Look at that, yo. The same Canaanite Baal who had niggas cutting off goat heads is the same nigga that came to Leonidas, yo. Same nigga that came to Leonidas that went to fight against Xerxes is the same nigga who had niggas cutting off goat heads in the second millennium BC and goddamn Canaan.
Hey,
look at the endurance of these guys. First you fucking with the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, then your ass several hundred years later, you over here fucking with the goddamn Greeks and the Romans and shit. A whole nother nationality.
And yeah, and then went and rocked with the Persians. Remember, they said Cyrus is the Messiah.
Exactly.
So why he go back to Persia? Maybe because Abram was from Persia, and he couldn't trust these niggas who wasn't really Israelites, but was usurping the history, trying to play like they was Israelites. And then we got to ask this. Let's be real about this question. What's your take on this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jaja said he separated some people, you know what I mean, and put these 700 people, and they became the Essenes. Right. Now they say Yeshua come up out this stock. Right. It go on this same stock, go on through the Essenes to breed all the prophets. They all come up out the same understanding priestly prophetic school. They learned how to prophesy.
Right.
But they was all one people, right?
Right.
But they was going to a people, right?
Right.
Who was claiming that they were the same thing, but by their actions proved they weren't. You see what I'm saying? The prophets was always going back to the people who fell off.
Even in the story of Jesus, he shows you the diversity from himself to the Pharisees, the Sadducees.
Yeah, they had
in your
totally
book
different
it
doctrines.
says this. He separated himself from the Pharisees. He ain't like you. He ain't coming to them niggas like we brothers. These niggas is vipers and serpents coming at this nigga.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because Yeshua wasn't talking that. He wasn't talking God. He wasn't talking Lord. He was talking that Jaja. He was talking that creator talk. You know what I mean?
And to convict these niggas in their own book.
Yup.
If Jesus, Yeshua, according to the Bible, if he was talking about the kingdom of God is at hand, who told him that? Because you remember, if he's an Esayan, he learned spirit communion. Who the fuck gonna tell you about the kingdom of God if not the motherfucker who had to be there?
Right.
Give insight to that shit. So Yeshua was bringing spirit. He brought what he learned from the inner temple to the outer court, to the blind, deaf, and dumb. The disciples ain't know what the fuck the nigga was talking about. Every time the crowd leave, yo, master, what you meant by that? When they try to break down the parable, he's like, yo, y'all niggas rocking with me, and y'all just as dumb as the niggas who left. At least y'all supposed to get it.
And this is why he told them in parables. You got to remember, right. I could imagine some of the prophets coming to a people that's been oppressed, and you know, it was against the law to read and keep books, and you did what I'm talking about, and you trying to come back to a suspicious, indoctrinated people. You dig what I'm talking about, and you trying to give a higher understanding, but they dumb down. You know what I mean? They dumb down because of their surroundings, not because they're dumb, but they've been dumbed down. And I can imagine the frustration. You know what I mean? A guy like Moses would have been trying to convince the Israelites, like, look, man, we just gotta go, dog. We gotta go.
Facts.
But we gotta have cable TV. What I'm gonna do about my weave?
Facts, that part.
You see what I'm saying? We ain't gonna have no Captain Crunch cereal.
Right, all that.
You see what I'm saying? What you mean we ain't gonna have no air conditioning for 5 months? I can't do without no air conditioning, Cosmon. You asking too much now.
Facts.
I can't watch the Spence and Bud Crawford fight. Oh hell no! God didn't mean that.
Facts.
But you crying about not having your own government. You crying about not having your own period. Exactly. Won't even consider communal living.
Nah.
They don't understand that in a year or two time, all that stuff become free. It's free. It's in the pot. This how you get rich and you make your own.
Right. Right.
This is how you corporally get rich, and this is how you spiritually get rich, by giving it away. By doing something good in a positive light with no benefit.
Facts.
But when you in the lap of luxury, and too much, into whom much is given, much is expected. So right. Guess what? You do that, and guess what? It just keeps getting replaced. You can't outpace Creator. When you're doing right for His, right, and for His children, the next generation, doing good works, it always works. You may even have people in your own little group that try to sabotage it, but it just exposed that to go on and create something even bigger and better. You refine it, and it changes into something better. Just like hip hop do. You did what I'm talking about. We took that R&B and made it something. Took that rock and roll, made it something new. Took that.
Exactly. Always
You dig what I'm
evolving the
talking about?
game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The same thing. The Owaspy explained hip hop as esphoma, being in the sign of the times, being to know, and not only to know, have knowledge, have wisdom to apply the knowledge properly. That is hip hop, knowledge in motion.
Facts.
Explained as esphoma, to know, to be hip, to be able to perceive the sign of the time. Y'all better get hip or watch be out of control.
Facts.
Watch be out of control. It's not lame. Listen, if Owaspy the only spiritual book today that I've ever seen in my life that addresses COVID-19. If that ain't recent,
that shit
you dig
crazy.
what I'm talking about? It's the only book I've never, ever seen another book in the world address inoculations, diseases, in this fashion, and what to do if these things happen, and if somebody is trying to convince you into putting a foreign substance in your body because of these diseases. First of all, they take away the fear and let you know these things are natural in many places,
right,
and reoccur at certain times of the earth. It just is. You know what I mean? But it more importantly teaches you that man will learn to overcome by virtue instead of vice. So we're not going to be worried about disease when we already preventing disease from happening.
Prevent it from happening.
That's what you're talking about right there. That mayat, that balance, that alkaline, and that acidity.
The real ma'at.
That's the real ma'at. You dig what I'm talking about? Because you either dying and in the road of declension fast, or you in ascension, you in alkalinity and in life. You know what I mean?
And both in the process of dying.
Yeah, always. Yeah. From your birth, you're dying.
You know what I mean? You want to die healthy and holy, or you want to die unhealthy and sick? You know what I mean?
Hey, man, they told us the first law was purification, man.
Man, look at that. Niggas run from that. Niggas ain't. When Mally shot them, when he switched to the Nazarene and switched to diet, his whole camp switched on him over over improving health. Imagine that.
And the nigga said, give up McDonald's? nigga, I was sticking with my old God. He said I cut off bullheads, and he said cook the whole ram on that mug, burn it as a sweet savor. Put some sweet baby rays on that thing. And while you up there, chop me up a nigga baby. Can you chop me up a nigga baby and put the blood in a bowl and sprinkle it on the altar and gut it and throw the body up there and then splash some flammable food on it and light that baby on fire for me so I can smell that. Do you understand that that's what your Bible is saying your God does? You better start slowing down and taking a reread. Well, reread. We know that ain't the creator. All that negative, inharmony, killing, murder.
Niggas running around thinking that's creator, yo. They backing this motherfucker, yo. That's sad.
This is why but look, they justifying it because they God is bloodthirsty and vengeful, and this is why they will justify killing their own children.
Case in point, yo. Sick in the head, ayah.
Sick man them up.
Sick in them under the head, ayah.
Murder them up, blood clot them.
Oh man, yo, that's crazy though. But that shit is real.
Niggas nuts, yo. Them niggas is nuts, man. Listen, bro, my stomach turns every time I see a man say, I would murder them kids, and he got children. My stomach turns because I know that nigga got some juju on him that really told the truth.
Yeah.
Like if I had a dream that this angel came down to me and told me that he would do it, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's all it takes. All that nigga got to do is come in a glorious garment with the hair white, looking like the Ancient of Days, describe how Yahshua was supposed to come. And if that image came to each one of the camp leaders, came to Nathaniel, General Yohana, goddamn, all these camp leaders with the same look, the same message, wake up and start to slay 2/3 of infants and you're gonna have a piece of the kingdom of heaven. Nigga, they gonna go my head and start slaughtering niggas like they did in Canaan to the goddamn Amaleks.
Shit, like Jim Jones did in Jonestown. It's the same spirit.
Exactly.
It's the same spirit. You dig what I'm talking about? That's convincing these people, because he didn't just go do that shit by himself. He turned around and told his people, yo, it's time to go. Hook that Kool-Aid up. And they was with it. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
This that same spirit that'll get a Muslim to strap on that blow-up bag.
Right.
You dig what I'm talking about? This that same insane, crazed, demonic spirit. You dig what I'm talking about? They don't even know that them is real spirits that they put on them that black them out for a minute. It literally controls their body, that rage and that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? These people don't even be knowing what they doing half the time. They so under spirit control. Go in there, blow your food self up.
Them niggas wild for 70 versions. 70 versions. That's the Muslims. The Muslims looking for 70 versions. You got some that believe that shit.
Man, I'm straight. You dig what I'm talking about? I don't want no versions, no way. That shit ain't fun.
We good over here. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm good.
Joe, I'm about to get ready to push out, man. I've been on here for like 3 hours, about to be on 4 hours and shit. You know what I mean? It's an excellent chop session. You know how we give it up. You know what I mean? School
all the time, man. I just want people to notice, right? This how me and my bros chop it, man. We didn't start it with the copper-colored indigenous Americans, and nigga, we didn't end it on a whole. We done went across the goddamn galaxy, talked about everything.
Hey, we went to Earth.
We talked about every goddamn thing. Ain't nothing we didn't touch on in the whole damn galaxy, and now we back, man.
Went to Earth, atmosphere, theory, and back, nigga.
And back again. You dig what I'm talking about? Like we left some. Hey, man, I want to give a big shout out to my brother Selah Shalom, man.
Hey, let them know where they can find you at, Ken.
Huh?
Let them know where they can find you at.
Oh, yeah, man. Y'all tap in over there at the show, man. Cosmon Cal TV, KOSMON CAL TV, Cosmon Cal TV. Tap in, check them Jehovah Chronicles coming out. About to let y'all know next Saturday, just a little insight for everybody. Next Saturday, I'm going to have the Dr. PhD Susan Martinez coming through, giving an Owaspi language lesson. Many people complain about the words and the sounding of words, so we're gonna have a accredited PhD linguist come in the house, break this shit down to you. You dig what I'm talking about? And then, but in the end of the day, we ain't telling you. You got to say it how we say it. But we gonna break down the vowel sounds of ancient languages. We're gonna get back off into this stuff, man. Y'all go subscribe, share over there at Jehovah Chronicles on Cosmon Cal TV, man. I want y'all to breathe in, let the light in. Hey, man, some Cosmon, and I'm out. Hey, Selah, I love you, boy.
Peace, King. Hey, you know we're gonna be in the chat talking anyway. This is what we do when the fucking stream is off. We still in the chat. Create a gang chat, chopping it up like this. This is a never-ending cycle right here. So I'm gonna see you in the chat in about like 20 minutes, nigga. You know how that shit go.
All right, boy.
All right, King. Save it up, bro.
Yeah, peace to the righteous gods, man. Peace to the created gang.
Can't forget the Naravinian goddesses. You done know, King.
Oh, you done know I love you the most. I love you the most. Hey, look, listen. Don't nobody love you. Cosmon don't love you. Hey.
All right, King, we're going to chop it up, man. We're going to chop it up, King. Let me see you in the chat. Peace to the righteous God. Yes, family. You know what I mean? We about to sign up out of here. Excellent chop session with the God. You know what I mean? So with that, your boy Selah Shalom is going to play the rhythm. We're off for run the rhythm. Let's run the rhythm, yeah? And we out of here, family. It's a blood clot vibes.